It's a difficult decision, but you got to make these decisions.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. A Metro East mayor is doing research on data centers.
Be looking at maybe $30 million in tax revenue.
Coming up, I'll tell you whether or not they're being pitched on one.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today and becoming warmer, the high 64.
In CBS News, the Justice Department releasing tens of thousands of new documents from the Epstein files.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Coming up, a little bit more of Bob Fesco's interview with Chiefs owner Clark Hunt on the move to Kansas, the Mizzou game against Illinois, the bragging rights game. We should call that the Illini game. They dominated. We'll have it for you at 6:15.
Celebrating 100 years and wishing you the best of the holiday season. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz. In Washington, the Justice Department released another batch of documents from the Jeffrey Epstein files early this morning.
The 11,000 files include court records, emails, Epstein's personal photos, records about his suicide in federal custody in 2019, and more mentions of President Trump. Prosecutors' notes suggest Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times in the 1990s, including one flight that had only Trump, Epstein, and a 20-year-old woman on board. Trump has said he had a falling out with Epstein and did not know about his sex trafficking. Investigators have not accused Trump of any criminal wrongdoing related to Epstein. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
President Trump has long said he wants the U.S. to have a greater shipbuilding capacity, and now he's announced a new class of warships will be built.
There's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time.
The president says he'll be personally involved with the design of the ships. Warning sirens are sounding in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Russia fired a barrage of drones and missiles overnight and into the daylight hours today. More from the BBC's Samira Hussein.
This has been the most significant attack on the capital, Kyiv, in the last several weeks. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine said that there were a total of more than 650 drones that were launched all over Ukraine last night, and there were several dozens of missiles.
Ukraine says it intercepted nearly 600 of the drones and nearly 30 missiles, but at least 3 people were killed, including a 4-year-old child. The maker of a GLP-1 pill for weight loss, Novo Nordisk, says the FDA has approved it for use in the U.S. The company says the once-daily pill will help people lose as much weight as its Wegovy injection. It'll be a wet Christmas in the West, says CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano.
44 million people under a flood watch. That includes Las Vegas as well. We have winter storm watches as well. As this next batch is coming in, it's going to mean business. First, it hits Northern California and then swings into Central and Southern California as we go to Christmas Day.
Gloria Burbina is flying out of Sacramento, leaving the rain behind.
Fingers crossed. We're not through security yet, but that's our hope is that we will sail on through, and we understand there's sunshine in Nashville.
The Powerball jackpot has jumped to an estimated $1.7 billion after last night's drawing failed to produce a winner. There have now been 46 straight drawings without a big winner since early September. The next drawing will be Wednesday night for the 4th largest jackpot in U.S. lottery history. Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ futures all in positive territory. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got mostly clear skies, 42 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. It used to be Missouri's 2 NFL teams who play in the annual Governor's Cup. Remember that? Now the state doesn't even have one team.
It's official. Kansas City Chiefs are leaving Missouri for a new dome in Kansas. Clark Hunt is chairman and CEO of the team and evoked his father Lamar's legacy.
As he moved the team from the Cotton Bowl to Municipal Stadium to Arrowhead Stadium, his focus in every instance was to give the fans the best possible experience. Today is another step in that legacy of innovation and that fan-first mentality.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says her state isn't a flyover state. It's now a touchdown state.
Chiefs Kingdom going to be really disappointed, and I join them in that disappointment and frustration, quite frankly. So we'll see how the devil in the details come out, but a term sheet's a term sheet.
It's a big blow to the state of Missouri, and Governor Mike Kehoe says it's an affront to a Chiefs legend.
Every game at Arrowhead is like going to the Super Bowl. It's more than just a brick and mortar facility. It is what Lamar Hunt built. It is his legacy. And I think making a decision that tells Chiefs Kingdom that maybe that's not so important anymore is at least disturbing to me, and I'm sure to other Chiefs fans.
It comes days after insurance giant Lockton announced it would also leave KCMO and move its headquarters to KCK, taking almost 2,000 jobs out of Missouri. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
We'll have a visit with Bob Fesco of our sister station 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City with Chiefs owner Clark Hunt on the way at 6:15. Could a data center be built on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River?
Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson is doing his research on data centers while telling KMOX quote-unquote middlemen on their behalf have reached out. Parkinson said his tour of the data center in Papillion, Nebraska debunked some myths for him.
Everything that we heard about noise was just completely erroneous. There was no noise whatsoever. Everything was indoors, and it was quite surprising, actually. The campus is very clean.
Parkinson emphasized there is no deal in place, but shares a preliminary projection of the kind of impact a data center could have on Granite City's economy.
In a given year, the city of Granite City on one 300-acre site, you could be looking at maybe $30 million in tax revenue.
Parkinson says public engagement programs could be announced in the first 2 months of 2026. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A fatal crash involving a semi-truck and an electric bicycle forced a temporary closure of eastbound I-70 in Warren County late Monday afternoon. The Missouri Highway Patrol says a 63-year-old Warrenton man died. Troopers say he attempted to cross 2 lanes on his bike and was struck. The truck driver, South Carolina man, was not injured.
No one seriously injured in a 3-alarm fire at the Arthur Common Apartments Monday afternoon. The fire burned so hot and fast it completely engulfed one of the apartment buildings.
Belleville Assistant Fire Chief Daniel LaFata says several departments responded for the blaze.
Afton, Crestwood, Webster Groves, St. Louis County Police, Afton Fire, Kirkwood, Fenton Fire, Shrewsbury, and the first responder canteen all came to help us out.
Chief LaFata says firefighters rescued several pets who were in the apartments because many of their people were at work. The person who sustained mild smoke inhalation was going door to door to alert residents of the fire.
Crews rescued several dogs and cats, so we're happy for that.
Bomb and arson is commonly called in on large fires. However, Fire Chief Brian Hendrick says while he is not calling the fire suspicious, he says it's concerning how large and fast the fire spread when the fire department is right down the street. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
As the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign winds down for 2025, the local campaign chair is asking for volunteers to consider spending at least 1 hour ringing a bell. KMOX's Amy Markscore says the Salvation Army agency has been put to the test this year due to the effects of the May tornado and the struggling economy.
With the Salvation Army of Greater St. Louis, all the money raised stays local. They also have super low overhead, so 90% of every dollar is used to serve our neighbors.
To sign up for a bell ringing shift, go to registertoring.com.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. It's been a rough year for area restaurants, even for James Beard nominated chefs. Ben Welch, who was a James Beard semifinalist in the Best Chef Midwest category, is closing both of his restaurants in the Grove, Lucy Q and Little Lucy, after service New Year's Eve. Both open this spring. In an Instagram post, Welch said the closures were due to multiple determining factors that made it impossible to keep the businesses operating.
It is 6:08. We'll take a look at traffic and weather coming up next on Total Information AM.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It's 6:10. Roger Brand, what's the latest out there, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, Tom, we still have a little bit of a slowdown out in the Wentzville area on eastbound Highway 70. We had overnight road work that ran from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. They got it picked up actually a few minutes ahead of schedule. So just a little slowdown at David Hochul Parkway, dissipating pretty rapidly. That was eastbound at Highway Z where they were working. Now tonight, they're going to be working on the westbound side at Highway Z, but it'll start a little later, 8 p.m., and it'll go till 8 a.m. The only trouble spot we have right now on the interstates is this crash I've been mentioning. Eastbound 70 is east of Natural Bridge at the east end of the airport. A crash involving multiple vehicles and a jackknife semi. Only the right lane is open passing Natural Bridge, and traffic is jammed back through Air Flight now on eastbound 70, so just be prepared for that jam. Like I said, the rest of these highways on both sides of the river, other than that, are quiet and on the move for you right now. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today and becoming warmer, high 64. Partly cloudy early tonight, then turning cloudy late tonight, low 43. For tomorrow, Christmas Eve, mostly cloudy but mild, high 63 to 67. Thursday, Christmas Day will remain mostly cloudy and mild, high 63. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Mostly clear, 42 degrees in downtown St. Louis, and the weather is sponsored by RP Lumber, best service, best value. From minor repairs to a whole new deck, RP Lumber helps you improve your home like a pro, even if you're not. Learn more at rplumber.com to find a location near you. RP Lumber, best service, best value.
It's 6:12. After a mother and daughter were found shot in a burning building in Walnut Park West early Sunday morning, St. Louis City Police have many questions. Among them, the timeline of events. St. Louis Police spokesperson Mitch McCoy is asking anyone with information to help.
There is no amount of information that is too small in the middle of a homicide investigation. Every piece of information that comes in will be evaluated by our detectives and could potentially help them better understand exactly what happened and what led up to this.
McCoy would not say if they have a suspected shooter. The 9-year-old daughter has died. The mother is still fighting for her life.
St. Louis County Police say a 34-year-old rural Florissant woman died in Sunday's house fire on Parker Road. Sharday Spate's husband got out safely. She did not. St. Louis Regional Bomb and Arson Squad is looking into the matter, which is typical when a death is involved, and police have said the fire did not appear to be suspicious in nature.
That puppy you fell in love with online may not exist. Brian Edwards with the Better Business Bureau says the puppy scams from the pandemic are still with us. Usually there is no dog, but
if people send a deposit, scammer says, okay, the animal will be shipped to you, but then there are issues in shipping. They need a vaccination and the person needs to pay for that. They need an air conditioner heated cage and the person has to pay for that. And the scammer will just keep coming up with things that the person needs to pay for until they say, hey, I'm not doing this anymore.
Edwards says if you insist on buying a puppy online, insist on a video call with the breeder, the puppy, and the pup's mother. And if they refuse, assume there's really no dog.
Buying a cheaper plane ticket won't come with as many perks anymore. American Airlines announcing that it's discontinuing its frequent flyer miles for basic economy customers. The company says it's trying to remain competitive, and any economy ticket purchase from now on will not include miles or loyalty points. It's the cheapest ticket that American offers.
Did you buy a Powerball ticket?
I did not.
I didn't either. Someone could get the Christmas present of a lifetime. There will be another $1 billion Powerball drawing. No one hit all 6 numbers needed in last night's drawing to win the money.
And the next drawing will be on Christmas Eve, and it will have an estimated jackpot of $1.7 billion, which will be the 4th largest jackpot ever. The jackpot has only been won on Christmas Eve once in the game's history.
What were those winning numbers last night? 3, 18, 36, 41, 54, and red Powerball 7.
And if you win, remember your good friends, Tom and Debbie.
That's right. Coming up at 6:22.
Metro East residents still waiting for packages from FedEx. The delivery giant has a flaw that they have yet to tell customers about. I'm Maria Aquino with the story.
At 6:15. Oh boy, this is a beatdown last night. Enterprise Center, Mizzou and Illinois in the bragging rights game.
Bodies go crashing to the deck, but no whistle. They are crushing the Illini on the glass. Hudrick House from the corner. Timeout, Mizzou. Illinois having trouble getting the ball inside. Now they do. Mirkovic up top. Ivasic throws it down.
I mean, a beatdown. The call on FS1 last night, a 32-20 lead after an 18-6 run, and Illinois never looked back. They blasted Missouri last night, 91-48. That is the largest margin of victory in the bragging rights series. And Missouri goes limping into the SEC season while Illinois looked much more prepared, much more athletic, and they're actually one of the only teams that will be taller than Missouri as they out-rebounded, out-muscled, outscored the Tigers at Enterprise Center last night. Now we shift to the state of Kansas, where that state is celebrating the Kansas City Chiefs. They will move to Kansas starting in 2031. They have that much time between now and then to build a new domed stadium. The approval yesterday by the state of Kansas, the announcement by the Chiefs, and the interview. Bob Fesco of our sister station there, 96.5 The Fan, with Chiefs owner Clark Hunt.
What is the structure of all of this? Who pays for what? How does this all work out? Everybody wants to know the numbers and all that.
Yeah, sure. So it's a public-private partnership, like most stadium deals are. And the state of Kansas will be paying for 60%, and our family will be paying for 40%, both of the stadium as well as the practice facility. There's also an opportunity and an obligation for some development around both facilities. That's something that was very important to Kansas. They wanted the development of mixed-use districts around both, and that's something that we're excited about being part of.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because for a couple of years now, even longer, we've been talking about where stadiums are and what is required to support a team anymore, in the NFL or even in Major League Baseball for that matter. And that development around the stadium, the practice facility, how much does that help keep you competitive with everybody else in the NFL? People hear salary cap, but there's much more to it than that.
Yeah, that's really been a trend across all professional sports, that most facilities, arenas, stadiums have mixed-use developments around them. And it's certainly an important part of the financial equation. I also think it'll help make the game day experience better for our fans, to be able to go somewhere where there are hotels and where there are bars and restaurants that are close to the stadium.
Yeah.
That's Bob Fesco of 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City with Chiefs owner Clark Hunt. We'll have much more. We'll circle back to that next hour. Coming up at 6:45, we'll hear from Cardinals president of baseball operations, Chaim Bloom. We'll give him a little time to explain his side of the Wilson Contreras trade to the Boston Red Sox and what else might be cooking with the Cardinals. They're actually connected to the Red Sox again, believe it or not. There was a report that the Red Sox are interested in Brendan Donovan. The Blues lost to the Lightning last night. Final score 4-1. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals in Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina. Your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
Before he became one of the most celebrated broadcasters in America, Bob Costas launched his remarkable career right here at KMOX.
I was 22 years old when I came to KMOX.
Costas called play-by-play for the Spirits of St. Louis, hosted Open Line, and covered Mizzou basketball, all while honoring the sharp wit and subtle comic timing he displayed as a semi-regular on The Carney Show.
Jack Carney, he introduced me to the St. Louis audience beyond the basketball games that I was calling.
His 7 years at KMOX set the stage for a legendary national career. From hosting 12 Olympic Games to winning 29 Emmy Awards, Bob Costas has become one of the defining voices of American broadcasting, always proudly connected to the city where it all began. Bob Costas, a KMOX pioneer.
Well, recently they had a wonderful groundbreaking ceremony, McKelvey Homes' new community in Wildwood, the Reserve at Wildwood, and the groundbreaking was well attended. They had many people there taking a look, applauding, and a ribbon cutting featuring St. Louis County Executive Sam Page. Councilman Mark Harder was there. Several of the elected officials of Wildwood were there. The weather was beautiful. Dr. Page made some remarks. There's more on McKelvey Homes' Facebook page, or you can just go to McKelveyHomes.com. You can also take a look at all of their great properties. They've already sold several homes, and they anticipate that the displays, the Reserve at Wildwood, will be open late spring of 2026. So you're going to want to get on this right away. Go to McKelveyHomes.com, and there you will find not only the Reserve at Wildwood, but you might explore all other homes for the holidays and other communities, floor plans, custom homes, all over. They still have, it looks like one or two still available at the Preserve that I was talking about for the last couple of years in Afton. I see one right here, 6724 Preservation Parkway. That looks pretty good. McKelvey Homes, McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:21. Thanks for tuning in to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change on eastbound Highway 70 around the airport, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. We still have this crash. Multiple vehicles, including a jackknife semi. Only the right lane is open. It's eastbound 70, just east of the Natural Bridge exit. Traffic is jammed back through Air Flight. Not quite back to Cypress, but it looks like as you're approaching Air Flight, you're bumper to bumper eastbound 70 right now. And that is the only interstate issue. Like I said, they picked up the roadwork eastbound 70 from overnight at Highway Z. Everything's back on the go coming in from out west there. It looks good on the south side, 55 at Festus. Just a little slow at Bayless briefly. Really not much to be concerned about there. North 270 still looks great from 55. It looks good both directions at Ladue. And westbound downtown across the Poplar and Mutual Veterans Bridges. Still no delays. At Penn Mutual, we believe that life insurance is a central part of a sound financial plan and that it can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says sunshine and some clouds today with a warmer afternoon, a high of 64. Partly cloudy early tonight, cloudy late, low 43. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, high 67. Christmas Day, 63. It's 41 downtown right now with a mostly clear sky.
6:22 and the news continues. If you're waiting for a package from FedEx and you live in the Metro East, it may still not be there. Several people in Belleville, Edwardsville, Fairview Heights, Cahokia Heights, Sauget, Mascoutah, and as far away as Champaign have been experiencing some runaround.
Jeff is one of those people waiting for a drum kit for his son.
We've tracked down the phone number directly to the Sauget location, and they've told us and several people in our neighborhood that they are probably on a trailer in the parking lot there. And we have, of course, have our Facebook neighborhood group, and there have been a ton of people asking in that group, has anyone else struggled with these problems? We've even had people who have caught it on their Ring doorbells. The FedEx truck pulling up in front of their house, opening the back of the truck, and then closing the back of the truck and driving on.
FedEx sends out alerts that the package is in transit. There were problems with the label, a host of excuses, but apparently not the real one. After being on the phone with FedEx for over an hour and a half, trying to speak with a human, eventually a representative came on. I explained I was a reporter and that we were recording on the record. I asked specifically about Jeff's delivery. The rep told me it was lost in transit, yet Jeff was still receiving notices it would be delivered. The rep then told me FedEx has a flaw in their system, and that's why the erroneous alerts are going out. What I don't understand is, and I think something needs to be done about the fact that you keep on telling people it's in transit when it's not. And if you're having manpower issues or just the Christmas rush, you are a delivery company. So I think a certain amount is expected when you charge people and then don't deliver, especially, and then don't tell them the truth.
Ma'am, as of now, as far as I know, that our technical team is doing their best to fix the problem on the website or on the system.
I then asked if Jeff can call a special FedEx number to report the problems.
183
183
331
331
508
508
76.
76. What's that 183? Is that an area code?
Yes,
But that's more phone numbers.
that's the number that I can see here. Yes, dial 183 331 50876.
Okay. I mean, I still think that's too many numbers to dial, but I don't think that's going to go through.
I'm not sure that's the number that I have here, you know?
Yeah, and this is a direct number for him to speak with someone from FedEx?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
This number is no longer in service.
I tell you everything. If you'd pick up that telephone.
Now, there is a silver lining. Jeff received his delivery Monday afternoon of that drum kit. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Plans were just approved for a new Costco in the St. Louis Metro. The Lake St. Louis Board of Aldermen voting to give Costco a permit to open at the intersection of Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Hawk Ridge Circle. Construction should begin in the spring and be finished by the summer of 2027.
There has been a death in the music world.
I'm driving home for Christmas.
That's Chris Rea.
Oh, I can't wait to see those faces.
His family says the singer-songwriter has died after a short illness. His albums The Road to Hell and Auberge both reached #1. The song Road to Hell quite literally about the frustrations of driving on England's motorways during rush hour. In 2011, he told the AP,
I see myself as a musician that's looking for images for people to watch while they're listening to my music. So consequently, the music is always finished. And then it's what do you do with the music? Driving home for Christmas, yeah. Well, I'm moving down that line.
Chris Rea was 74.
And it's been so long.
I'm Ben Thomas.
It is 6:27. The time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Retirement shouldn't feel like balancing your checkbook while blindfolded. I'm Gary Goldberg, and my team helps you see the big picture so you can retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety. Because guessing is not a strategy. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
It is 6:30 and it is now 42 degrees with mostly clear skies. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's get a check with Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still have our trouble spot, folks, on eastbound Highway 70. This crash just east of Natural Bridge involving multiple vehicles and a jackknife semi. Still looks like just the right lane's open past there. Traffic is jammed back to about Cypress now on eastbound 70, so just be prepared. That's the only issue on 70 we've got. 55 still looks great down south. There was a bit of a slowdown. Let's call it right at River to Pear. Just a little busy there. North 55, really not much to be concerned about. North 270 from 55 up through Gravois all the way up past Ladue, both directions, 270 at Ladue rolling. And downtown, we're still clear westbound, headed across the Poplar Musical Veterans Bridges. No delays for Illinois motorists so far this morning as of yet. Next update at 6:40 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather is going to be pretty nice, but that warm up we were telling you about for Christmas has been pushed off for another day or two. It's still going to be nice on Christmas, though. Today, 64 degrees with sunshine, 67 for Christmas Eve, and then mostly cloudy Christmas Day with a high of 63 degrees. It's 42 right now.
It's 6:31. St. Louis police are seeking the public's help in bringing a child's killer to justice.
Early Sunday morning, a mother and daughter were found by firefighters shot in a burning home at the 5700 block of Floy in the Walnut Park West neighborhood. St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says many questions still remain, including the timeline of events.
Our homicide detectives are following several leads at this very moment and are working around the clock to build a timeline of events to clearly understand exactly what happened and what led up to this unspeakable tragedy.
McCoy says they do not have a suspect in custody at this time. He asks anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The 9-year-old has since died. The mother continues fighting for her life.
Fire of this magnitude, we like the assistance of the bomb and arson unit.
That's Melville Fire Protection District Assistant Fire Chief Daniel LaFata on the 3-alarm fire that caused extensive damage to an apartment wing in Arthur Commons. Melville Fire Chief Brian Hendrick says his concern was the size and how quickly that fire consumed one apartment unit of the 20. Here's KMOX's Maria Keenan.
There are sprinklers in there?
I believe there's a domestic sprinkler system here.
And did that not help with this?
It might have helped, but this was a well-advanced fire. This was a heavy fire and probably beyond maybe what the sprinklers could get right away.
The Red Cross will be helping displaced residents.
Crews are replacing dozens of military family homes at Missouri's Fort Leonard Wood. Colonel Stephen Bartley tells Missouri Net they're starting with 56 homes.
You know, of the 1,800 homes we have out on the installation, the vast majority of those were built around the Vietnam War before that. So this is a step for sure in the right direction, and we look forward to additional resourcing to continue this initiative.
The $50 million project also includes infrastructure upgrades. The new homes are expected to be ready in 2027.
It is 6:33. We've got your latest Money Minute from Bloomberg on the way on Total Information AM.
Okay, I don't want to be mean, but if you're a guy and you just have a grimy, multiple times refilled bottle of Dial that's got the crusty soap on the outside, that's a red flag.
What if you just have a bar of Dial soap with no soap dish? I never like the bar of soap. What if you have one bar of soap and you take it from the shower to the sink, back to the shower? How would you feel good about going to that guy's house?
Oh my gosh, I think I would just leave without saying anything.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, weekdays at 9 on KMOX.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
6:35, your Money Minute, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Pink slips being handed out at Red Lobster. The seafood chain has cut about 10% of its corporate staff and about 200 workers at its restaurants. Meantime, the company is working to renegotiate expensive leases for some of its locations. Sources tell us dozens of low-performing restaurants have dragged down Red Lobster's overall results. Checking in on Wall Street action, stocks are steady this morning after yesterday's gains. We get a closer look at the economy with third quarter gross domestic product data before the opening bell. S&P futures are up 4 points, Dow futures rising 20. And Google parent Alphabet has agreed to buy clean energy developer Intersect Power for $4.75 billion. The acquisition is intended to give Google access to more electricity for its data centers. There has been a booming demand for power from artificial intelligence. The deal marks the first time a big tech firm has bought a major renewable energy developer. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA for years, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, January 22nd or Tuesday, the 27th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may offer tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with their qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. 2025 was a turning point for America. House Republicans didn't just talk about the challenges facing our country, we delivered real solutions. I was proud to stand beside President Trump to deliver historic tax cuts, secure our border, and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. This year, my office helped constituents by solving over 500 cases and returning to them nearly $1.8 million. I'm Congressman Bob Onder, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Christmas Day, after the presents are opened and dinner is done, grab some eggnog, loosen your belt, and settle in for some Chiefs football. The Chiefs take on the Broncos Christmas Day night.
St. Cancer Center game time, 6 p.m.
On your home for Chiefs football, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com at 6:39. The state of Kansas and Chiefs ownership announced Tuesday that the NFL will have this team moving across state lines in 2031. The Chiefs are heading to Kansas. It sounds like the average person in Kansas City expects the region to level up with this move.
This will probably be our first invitation to hopefully get a Super Bowl. And instead of going to Florida or L.A., they're coming to Kansas City to bring the Super Bowl here.
We're listening to callers to our sister station, KMBZ, to find out what the public thinks. This man works in construction.
The chance to build a legacy and be able to say for us in Kansas City, in the subcontract and the contractor world, to be able to look at a new stadium, a new training complex, a new HQ. I mean, this is huge, and those jobs will also go to the Missouri side. They're going to be contractors from all over the country. They're going to be able to work on this.
It's now 6:40. Thanks for tuning into Total Information AM on this Tuesday, December 23rd. Roger Brand is with us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Are people heading to work this morning?
Yeah, a few are. I mean, it's a holiday week, Debbie. I don't expect a whole lot this week and next week unless we have troubles, and we still have trouble on eastbound 70. That's the only trouble spot we have right now. This multi-vehicle crash involving a jackknife semi eastbound 70 east of the Natural Bridge exit. Only the right lane is still getting through. Eastbound 70 is a solid jam. Back to almost Lindbergh, back through Cypress now, eastbound 70. Solid bumper-to-bumper backup. But that's the only significant issue we've got right now. And even though we're building volume, it's not bad everywhere else. I mean, there's just a little slowdown northbound 55, north of Bayless up to River to Pear, north 270, from 55 up through 44 in both directions on 270 up around Ladue. Look great. If you're on eastbound 64 coming in from Wentzville, 70 out Wentzville way looks good. Like I said, it's just east of Lindbergh where you're running into trouble. And downtown westbound still looks fine. 55, 70, and 64 across the Poplar and Musial Veterans Bridges. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Take it to Telly.
One little light can stall out your entire day, the check engine light. So I reached out to my go-to problem solver. Dad, what do? He didn't miss a beat. Take it to Telly, he said. So I did. But they didn't just fix my car. They fixed my day. Take it to Telly.
Might not be a lot of work traffic, but I assure you this afternoon, there are a lot of people out doing some shopping, some errands, grocery stores, shopping centers, jammed up parking lots. At least they have some good weather out there, AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Indeed, they do. A few fog patches are trying to form last minute before sunrise right now, but they're going to be short-lived. We'll see more sun than clouds today, and it will get warmer this afternoon up into the mid-60s. So you can put those winter coats away as you go out and do the shopping and all those activities this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies early tonight, then it'll cloud up late tonight, the low about 43. Christmas Eve, a lot more clouds and sun, but still mid-60s. Even though it won't be a record setter on Christmas Day, it's still going to be mild with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 63. The record warmth, that looks like it's in play for Friday and Saturday. Temperatures both days near 70. A lot of sunshine Friday, a few more clouds around Saturday. Then a front comes through Saturday night, turns much colder on Sunday. Currently 47 at St. Peter's, 43 in Florissant, clear 47 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is now 6:42. Plans unveiled yesterday for a new Golden Fleet for the United States.
President Donald Trump has announced a bold plan for the Navy to build a new large battleship as part of a larger version to create a Golden Fleet.
These are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built.
Just a month ago, the Navy scrapped plans to build a new small warship, citing growing delays and cost overruns, deciding instead to go with a modified version of a Coast Guard cutter. Cost overruns have also doomed other newly designed ships like the new Ford-class aircraft carrier and Columbia-class submarines. Trump says,
and we're going to be working very hard with companies, but we're also going to be penalizing companies that aren't doing a good job.
Trump says his new battleship will be armed with hypersonic missiles, railguns, and high-powered lasers, all technologies that are still being developed by the Navy. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump is appointing Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry to serve as the U.S. Special Envoy to Greenland. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
And he wanted to lead the charge.
President Trump says Governor Landry suggested the idea and understands the importance of Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it.
Danish authorities have reacted angrily to the move. Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark, which is also a NATO ally of the U.S.
Think casual marijuana use is harmless for teenagers? A new study could change the way parents view cannabis and emerging adults.
A large national study finds that even using marijuana once or twice a month can lead to worse school performance for teens, but also higher risk of depression, anxiety, and impulsive behavior. Columbia University Irving Medical Center tested over 160,000 teens. They found that cannabis use didn't mix with adolescent brains that were still developing, specifically in brain regions related to learning, self-control, and emotional regulation. Parents need to understand that natural doesn't always mean safe, and that today's cannabis products contain more THC than in the past. Cooper Lawrence, CBS News.
Last night, Enterprise Center, the bragging rights game was a one-way street, and it was run by the Illini.
And Missouri inexplicably keeps leaving him open. Look at that spin. Look at that. And it drops for him. Give him 16. And so not only does it allow him to put points on the board, but allows him to pressure just like this. Mirkovic, they get it out. Ivasic wide open, and he hits the three. You got to think that ankle might have, hampered him a bit on that one. Three-pointers continue to drop. Mirkovic now for Illinois. They've hit 10.
They ended up going up 21 on that shot, and they blast Missouri. Illinois wins the bragging rights game, largest margin of victory in the series history. 91-48 was the final last night at the Enterprise Center, and for Illinois, an opportunity to come blasting into the Big Ten schedule, and Mizzou will open things up January 3rd against Florida, trying to figure out why they were so unprepared for this Illini team as they get hammered in St. Louis. Meantime, in Kansas, they have a new stadium for the Chiefs on the horizon. At the start of the 2031 season, the Chiefs announced they will leave their longtime home at Arrowhead for a new domed stadium that will be built across the Kansas-Missouri state line. The announcement yesterday came shortly after a council of top Kansas lawmakers voted unanimously inside a packed room at the state capitol to allow for star bonds to be issued to cover up to 70% of the cost of the stadium and accompanying mixed-use district. The Chiefs have played at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri since 1972. Bob Fesco of our sister station, 96.5 The Fan, spoke with Clark Hunt, the Chiefs owner. We'll play more of that coming up at 7:15. The 49ers beat up the Colts 48-27 last night, a career-high 5 touchdown passes for Brock Purdy. The 49ers are already in the playoffs. The Colts haven't been officially eliminated yet, but they have certainly faded with 5 straight losses. The Bills, Jaguars, and Chargers all got in after that loss by the Colts. The Blues lost 4-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road. Right around that time, Hein Bloom was starting up a conversation with reporters to talk about his latest transaction.
We acquired 3 right-handed pitchers, sending Wilson Contreras
To the Red Sox, we acquired Hunter Dobbins, who is on the 40-man roster, made his major league debut in this past year. And two minor leaguers, Blake Aida and Yoiker Fajardo, both right-handers as well. And we're excited to welcome all three of them to the Red Sox. Happy to continue bolstering our pitching depth, both in the big leagues and in the minor leagues, and also to have three guys who have a chance to impact us long into the future. And with that, I'll open it up to your questions.
Much more coverage on the Gas House Gang today at noon. Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, and me. And then Countdown to Opening Day also runs. That'll be this evening at 6 o'clock, our Cardinals Network show. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM. KMOX.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Give the best of Broadway right here in St. Louis. Muni season tickets are on sale now, just in time for the holidays. Our 2026 season includes Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. See all 7 shows starting at just $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
6:50. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, still no change on eastbound Highway 70 in front of the airport, Debbie. We still have this multi-vehicle crash involving a jackknife semi eastbound 70 just east of the Natural Bridge exit as you head around the bend there. Only the right lane is open. Eastbound 70 is a solid jam at Cypress coming into that point. There's no slowdown westbound because really this crash is where the lanes split up. You really can't see it, I don't think, from the westbound side, so you're fine there. Building a little volume in other spots, but again, holiday week, so it's really not bad. I mean, 55 actually is cleared out barely the slowdown we had at River to Bear gone. South 270 ramping on to eastbound 64. That ramp's a little slow, but both directions through the actual work zone at Ladue look fine. So eastbound 64 coming in from out Wentzville Way looks good. 55 at Festus and Bayless fine. And downtown we're still good. Westbound across the Poplar and Muso Veterans Bridges. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays. You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Plus,
avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
Our weather is going to be fantastic for Christmas. Let's start with today. Sunny, some clouds, high 64. Tonight, low 43. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, high 67. Thursday, little cloudy, just a touch cooler for Christmas Day, high 63. But on Friday and Saturday, we're looking at sun and a high each day of 70. Right now, it's mostly clear and 41 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:52. Before he was the face of Channel 5's news, Mike Bush was the king of Sunday night sports. He says that era was defined by creative freedom. Bush tells KMOX the massive popularity of Sports Plus gave him and his team a rare privilege in the TV business.
We were doing this Sunday night sports show called Sports Plus. It was so much fun to do because fortunately the ratings were good. And when you get good ratings, you get a little autonomy. And so we could pretty much do what we wanted with that show.
Bush says that autonomy allowed them to produce skits and segments that otherwise wouldn't have flown. Of course, he announced that he will be retiring in 2026.
I'll never forget being asked for the first time to be on Sports Plus on Channel 5. I was like, oh my gosh, I've made it. After watching that show and Mike for so many years, we wish him the very best. He's going to retire in August. It's been a half century since a lawyer's decision unlocked free agency in Major League Baseball and changed sports forever.
Sports were turned upside down 50 years ago Tuesday by a man who never threw or kicked a ball. A lawyer with expertise in labor relations struck down Major League Baseball's reserve clause, which had bound players to their teams since the 1870s. No one could have predicted then that the 65-page decision issued December 23, 1975 by arbitrator Peter Seitz would lead to an upheaval that made thousands of players multi-millionaires. Seitz was immediately fired by MLB and later compared baseball owners to, quote, the French barons of the 12th century. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
The Illinois Secretary of State's office received some questionable license plate recommendations this year.
Appreciate the creativity of Illinoisans who want customized license plates, but they must meet certain standards of good taste and decency.
Of the 55,000 vanity and personalized plate requests submitted, Secretary of State Alexi Janulia says more than 550 had to be denied. Some were hard to read, like OOQQOO. Others were inappropriate enough we can't read them on the air. Still, Janulia says,
as always, go ahead and get creative, but please keep it clean.
WBBM's Haley Hansen reporting.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Today's birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. If you have a birthday or anniversary that you would like in this birthday segment, just give us at least 24 hours notice and email it to totalam@KMOX.com. That's totalam@KMOX.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Scott Nordmo from the Life Group. Happy 80th to Bonnie Gonzalez in Belleville and Bonnie Levin in O'Fallon.
This is the best birthday ever.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
This could be the time to buy a house, says real estate expert Steve Kirch. He says people who are listing their homes in winter want to move.
Either for a job or some other reason.
Kirch says that could put you in position to get some concessions from motivated sellers.
Pay some closing costs, maybe drop the asking price a bit.
But with that said,
although that doesn't mean they're bargains by any means.
I'm Rob Hart.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 skills-based degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate a Virginia by Chev.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stiefel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stiefel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stiefel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stiefel, where success meets success.
No one remembers the tie, the sweater, or the pair of socks they received last year for the holidays, but they will remember the year they learned how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. And every year in January, Lacefield Music opens their exciting and innovative 8-week adult piano classes to the public for the incredible price of only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. This class is usually $100, but in January, the classes will be $29.99 for all 8 weeks. With Lacefield Music's adult piano classes, you will learn how to read music, play your favorite songs, and you will play with both your right and your left hand the very first week. This year, instead of buying your loved one more things, buy them an experience and fulfill the dream of learning to play the piano. Class sizes are limited and are filling fast, so call 636-778-2070 for more information or go to lacefieldmusic.com. That's lacefieldmusic.com to sign up.
At 6:58, let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, they're still working with a crash in front of the airport on eastbound Highway 70, just east of the Natural Bridge exit. Still looks like just the right lane getting by. So eastbound 70 is a solid jam back. It hasn't changed a whole lot. Like I said, it's holiday week, so lighter volume. We're still solid jam at Cypress up through Natural Bridge on eastbound 70, but it really hasn't gotten any worse in the last 10, 20 minutes. So that's a good sign, obviously. Northbound 55 still looking good between, down in Festus and Bayless and the work zones. North 270 from 55 still clear sailing all the way up through the Ladue construction zone both ways there. You're good to go. Downtown, we're still clear westbound across the Poplar and Musel Veterans Bridges. No delays there. Southbound 61 on to 64 coming in from out Wentzville way. Looks great. And there's still no delays at Clarkson both directions. 64 around the inner belt are still clear. Eastbound Highway 30, just a little busy at Mauer and approaching 270. Not even a slowdown back at West Watson for you on that route. And like I said, holiday week, so pretty light traffic makes it easier for everybody else. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's mostly clear, 41 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. These are the stories making news.
With the Chiefs on the move, what happens to the old Arrowhead that welcomes you to the Kansas City Metro on I-70?
We haven't had that kind of discussion yet.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I'm Debbie Monterrey.
I'm Sean Malone. Is a Metro East City being courted for a data center?
A middleman type person and on what the feasibility is.
Coming up, I speak with the mayor on his research.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A warmer day today with sun and some clouds, the high 64.
We'll have a little bit more from Chiefs owner Clark Hunt on that move to Kansas. And Mizzou gets walloped by Illinois. Great win for the Illini. But Dennis Gates has to explain what the heck went on last night.
Celebrating 100 years and wishing you the best of the holiday season. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. After posting tens of thousands more Epstein files, the Justice Department has just released a statement that says, quote, some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false. CBS's Scott McFarland has been poring over the documents released early this morning.
One revealing Department of Justice email says Trump flew on Epstein's plane many more times than had previously known. According to the email, Trump is listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, including at least 4 that co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell was on board. President Trump has never been charged in connection with Jeffrey Epstein, and these newly released documents do not accuse him of any crime or wrongdoing.
A federal judge has given the Trump administration 2 weeks to submit a plan to return a group of Venezuelan men previously held at a notorious Salvadoran prison to the U.S., or give them a hearing so they can contest allegations that they're in a gang. More from CBS's Vladimir Duthier.
In his ruling on Monday, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg wrote that a group of Venezuelan men deported to the infamous CCOT prison in El Salvador were denied their due process rights and will thus require the government to facilitate their ability to obtain such hearing. Our law requires no less.
An atmospheric river means torrential rains this Christmas week in the west and heavy snow in some areas. All of California is under a flood watch. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano says that could mean trouble for one area of L.A. that has seen too much of it already.
The Los Angeles area is bracing for a rare high risk for flash floods Wednesday. Especially worrying for people who live near the Palisades and Eden fire burn scars.
If there are landslides, we won't be able to get out.
There's good news for people who want to lose weight but don't like injections. The FDA has okayed a pill version of the weight loss drug Wegovy.
Novo Nordisk's drug is the first oral GLP-1 to get the green light. Eli Lilly's pill form of Zepbound is still under review. CBS News medical contributor and editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News, Dr. Celine Gounder, says manufacturing pills is generally cheaper than making injections.
So this will make it a lot more accessible to people, both in terms of cost as well as convenience.
The Wegovy pill should be available in a few weeks. The FDA is expected to rule on Lilly's pill by the spring. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
After spending most of the past few hours barely in the green, the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ futures have dropped barely into the red. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie, the best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
It is 7:04. We have mostly clear skies, 42 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A very nice, warm Christmas week for you. We'll have the forecast coming up. It's a big blow for Missouri. As you've no doubt heard, the Kansas City Chiefs are moving to Kansas. KMOX's Michael Calhoun tells us how the deal came together.
The Chiefs plan a $3 billion domed stadium with a new training facility and offices too, all of it in Kansas. Chiefs President Mark Donovan says they notified the state of Missouri of their intended 2031 departure.
They were difficult conversations. It's a difficult decision. But you got to make these decisions.
Donovan says while it's about the next chapter, they will cherish every season left at Arrowhead. Speaking of what will happen to the old stadium, Chiefs Chairman Clark Hunt.
We haven't had that kind of discussion yet with the county. The building's owned by the county, so that'll really be their decision.
Those buildings mark the entrance to the Kansas City Metro on I-70, but Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says this agreement takes her state now to the next level.
Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas says he got the call Monday that the Chiefs would be leaving.
I think many of you covered the past discussions and conversations as they existed with the prior county executive. There were differences of opinion in terms of the desire to retain these teams, the desire for different tax initiatives, funds, et cetera. I do think long-term that's something that we need to look to from this story.
Lucas lauds cooperation between Kansas City, Jackson County, and Missouri officials, although state of Kansas and Chiefs officials say the opposite was actually the case. The Missouri side was disorganized, while the Kansas side spoke with one voice.
Now to our area, a Metro East town is exploring the idea of adding a data center.
Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson has taken multiple trips to Papillion, Nebraska, seeking to learn about their data center and its impact on their local economy. Parkinson says he's familiar with Papillion, with a friend from there introducing him to his wife, and says he has seen how the city has grown after constructing a data center.
It was a city similar to Granite, and it was an older part of Nebraska, an older part of Omaha area, and now it's booming, it's thriving.
Parkinson tells KMOX intermediaries on behalf of data centers have spoken with Granite City about the possibility of building one there.
A middleman type person and on what the feasibility is, as far as any kind of agreements or anything like that, no.
Parkinson says they anticipate sharing and engaging with the public about data centers in the early part of 2026. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Florissant police are warning about a scheme that has been happening in the area. Fraudsters approaching people, asking for donations for youth sports teams by selling cookies or candy. The suspects are asking to scan victims' credit cards to complete the transaction.
They remind people that everyone should use caution when approached for donations, especially by individuals you do not know. Don't allow anyone to scan your credit card or handle it out of your sight. If you believe you've been scammed, call Florissant Police.
If you're searching online to buy a popular breed of dog, you'll likely encounter scammers. Brian Edwards with the Better Business Bureau says scammers are buying ads on search engines that bump their websites to the top and often use pictures stolen from other places. He says one thing to insist upon is a video chat.
Have the breeder be on that video call, show the puppy that they are going to buy, as well as the mother of the puppy as well. And we have found that is a pretty, we don't like to say anything is foolproof, but that's a really strong way.
Because if they refuse a video chat, there's probably no dog. He recommends a breeder you can meet in person or adopting from a shelter. He knows of no one who's gotten their money back from puppy scams.
The Business Desk is sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. A local real estate developer has purchased the former St. Luke's De Pere Hospital and property. The hospital closed in August, and St. Luke's says it selected a local firm with a long-term vision for the most beneficial use of the property.
According to the Business Journal, the first potential buyer wanted to reopen the hospital as a substance abuse treatment facility. Given that news and strong interest in the property, the De Pere Board of Aldermen froze development to study the best uses for the property. It will likely now become homes and apartments.
It's 7:08, traffic and weather next.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Hey, it's 7:10. Let's get a check of the roadways and the weather, too. Right now, it looks just, I don't know. It's kind of gray out there, but we'll get the update in just a moment on that. Right now, from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center, here is Roger Brand.
Well, we're in great shape on the area roadways with the one exception, Debbie, and that's that crash they're still working with that happened earlier this morning involving a jackknife semi and multiple cars eastbound 70 just east of the Natural Bridge exit. Still just the right lane getting through as you get around the bend there at the east end of the airport. So traffic is a solid jam back through Cypress on eastbound 70. So again, if you're eastbound 70 going to the airport to catch a flight, just be advised you're going to have to sit in that jam unless you bail out at Lindbergh and take the other access road, Lambert International, in from that point, get off at Cypress there, and you can cut through. But the choice is yours. Westbound's not impacted by it, and there are no other delays on these interstates of any consequence, not even slowdowns in the work zone. So it's great to see. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine and some clouds today and warmer this afternoon, high 64. Partly cloudy early tonight, then becoming cloudy late, low 43. For tomorrow, Christmas Eve, clouds, breaks of sun, and quite balmy, the high 63 to 67. Thursday, Christmas Day, mostly cloudy, but still mild, high 63. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 41 in Florissant, 43 in St. Peters. We have clouds, 42 downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:12, and a 3-alarm fire destroys an entire section of the Arthur Commons Apartments in Melville.
Melville Fire Protection District Assistant Fire Chief Daniel LaFata says the fire started shortly before 2 o'clock.
When the first crews got here, they found heavy smoke and fire from this 2-story apartment building. There are 20 individual apartments in this complex, and fire was well advanced by the time our crews got here.
LaFata says it was kind of windy, which did not help crews. And while they were trying to make an interior fight on the second floor, they encountered heavy heat and fire conditions, forcing them to back out. Now, one person was transported to the hospital for non-life-threatening smoke inhalation. Bomb and arson unit is handling the investigation because of the size and how fast the fire consumed one building. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Unseasonably warm temperatures over the next several days could mean more people turning out to ring bells at Salvation Army Red Kettles across the region. KMOX's Amy Markscores is this year's Red Kettle campaign chair.
You want to be a bell ringer and you're afraid of standing out there on the cold if the weather's in the 60s or 70s, there are a few more days to volunteer to ring the bell at registertoring.com. 1 2-hour shift can feed a family of 4 for a week.
Mark Scores says the public's need for Salvation Army assistance locally this year is greater than ever.
The massive movement of troops heading home through Lambert Airport is complete, but the USO says their mission doesn't pause when the holidays end. Executive Director Elizabeth Brown tells KMOX while the block leave surge gets the headlines, USO centers rely on community help every single day.
I have 2 staff that are going to be on site, and other than that, every day, 365 days a year that this center is open, it's being led by a volunteer.
Brown says the organization is always looking for new volunteers to help keep the doors open for traveling service members.
Hundreds of Illinois drivers may have ended up on the naughty list due to their suggestions for personalized license plates.
Illinois Secretary of State Alexei Janulius says his office received more than 55,000 vanity and personalized plate requests this year. Over 550 were denied for being inflammatory, profane, offensive, or just too difficult to read.
Some of the rejected plates included BBL, which apparently stands for Brazilian butt lift, which had to be explained to me.
Janulius says he appreciates the creativity, but encourages residents to keep it clean.
If you're interested in a vanity or personalized plate, visit our Pick a Plate page at ilsos.gov.
That is WBBM's Haley Hansen reporting. Well, Illinois fans are pretty happy about what they saw yesterday. An absolute beatdown of Mizzou in the bragging rights game. Final score was 91-48. It's the largest margin of victory in the history of the series. Played at Enterprise Center last night. After the game, Dennis Gates trying to explain from a Mizzou perspective as the Tigers were out-hustled, out-prepared, and out-rebounded by a bigger Illini team. And Mizzou's one of the tallest teams in the country. They couldn't shoot it, shot 28%. They couldn't rebound it. They couldn't defend, and they got run off the floor by the Fighting Illini.
Credit Illinois. They did a great job, well-prepared, made great shots, had open looks. Early on, I thought it was nip-tuck, but ultimately that run, being able to give up the second chance points that we gave up, they executed on every single one of them, and that's what hurt us. That's what ignited their run. And I just thought our guys at that point hit a wall. Now we fought back as it relates to some executions, things that we executed. I was happy to see, but it just wasn't enough, wasn't consistent with what our game plan was.
Further pain for Missouri fans who love the Chiefs. Their team is moving to Kansas starting in 2031. Here is Bob Fesco of our sister station in Kansas City, 96.5 The Fan, with Chiefs chairman Clark Hunt.
What about dome, retractable? What are you thinking for that?
Well, our plan is for a dome. We've not made a decision on whether it'll be retractable or not. We'll get into the design work pretty quickly. The first order of business will be to select an architect. And once we've done that, we'll get to work on that design and figuring out what will be best for the community.
And it's cool to have how many great architects here in Kansas City that can do all this. I mean, look what they did the first time around, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kansas City for a long time has been really the birthplace of stadium architects, and that really goes all the way back to the development of the Truman Sports Complex.
Arrowhead Stadium has been in place since 1972. Now to the Cardinals and President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom answering questions about the trade of Wilson Contreras to the Red Sox.
Chaim, where do you all believe that Dobbins is in his rehab from the ACL tear over the summer? Is he going to be ready for opening day? And sort of where does he fit into what the rotation picture looks like for you in the short term?
Yeah, he's coming along nicely. He has a checkup actually in a couple of weeks where we're hopeful that he'll get clearance to progress to the mound, but he is throwing. I think if you do some internet sleuthing, you'll be able to see some evidence of that. And he's doing well. We don't want to put a timetable on this. I know if you ask him, he'll tell you he's going to be ready when that bell rings. We're going to make sure that we don't rush him. Obviously, want to make sure that he's completely past this before we turn him loose. This is a type of injury that if we handle the rehab well, it should not be a concern going forward. Obviously, a little bit of a freak thing.
Talking about Hunter Dobbins, who tore his ACL covering first base in a game in July. He is joined by prospects Yoiker Fajardo and Blake Aida, and Wilson Contreras heads to the Red Sox. The Blues lost last night to the Lightning 4-1. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
With great sadness that we report that earlier this evening, a plane believed to be carrying Governor Bill Carnahan went down in Jefferson County. There were no survivors.
There, when St. Louis mourned.
I remember I was at home. The news day was over for me when I got the call. It was a rainy night that the governor's plane at first was missing in a thunderstorm.
The most difficult, time-consuming, and emotional thing I've covered in my life.
He served the people of Missouri with dignity and honor for more than 4 decades. And all of Missouri will remember him for his dedication to public service.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by St. Louis Public Library, St. Louis's original search engine.
Listen up, Missouri. If you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is rolling in the Show Me State, and they are kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether you're betting football or basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you can do it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Download the FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement because it has been a lot of fun since it's been live and rolling in the state of Missouri. It is time to play your game with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20. This is Total Information AM. Let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, there's still no change with our crash in front of the airport or just east of the airport there. Eastbound 70 just east of the Natural Bridge exit. Still only the right lane getting by. It was a multi-vehicle crash involving a jackknife semi in the left lanes. It's been out there since before it was light. Eastbound 70 still a solid jam at Cypress into that point. Eastbound. Now, westbound 70, nobody's slowing for a look. There's lighter volume, of course. This is a holiday week, so if you don't have a problem, you're really not going to have delays. I mean, even in the construction zones, we're not quite to the peak point of rush hour yet, but we're still looking great. 55 at Festus and north of Bayless, 270 both ways around Ladue, 70 on the Warrenton Wright City area. Just nothing going on of any consequence. Downtown, we're still good to go. Westbound, 64 coming through Greenmount from 158, and it still looks great across the bridges downtown for Illinois drivers as well. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
That weather forecast from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg is showing a nice day today with some sun and a high of 64 once this last bit of fog and cloud cover burns away. And then tonight, partly cloudy early, could becoming cloudy late, low 43. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, clouds, breaks of sun, balmy, high 67. Thursday, Christmas Day, mostly cloudy, a high of 63. We get sun and 70 for Friday and Saturday with a cool down on Sunday. Currently, looking at a cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis, it's 42 degrees. The weather is sponsored by RP Lumber, best service, best value. From minor repairs to a whole new deck, RP Lumber helps you improve your home like a pro, even if you're not. Learn more at rplumber.com to find a location near you. RP Lumber, best service, best value.
It is 7:22, and the news continues.
And we go to Hein Bloom, the Cardinals president of baseball operations, and a little bit more on his visit with regard to Wilson Contreras.
You can that y'all saw what happened, or if you did not see it, you can go look it up. So we just want to make sure we do the rehab right and get him past this and then get him out there. We really like a lot of things that he does, both in terms of the stuff that he has. It's a pretty deep arsenal. He's got some different weapons to attack hitters with. There's some opportunities we see as well, but we obviously want to get to know him.
Talking there about the acquisition of Hunter Dobbins for Contreras. 3 pitchers were acquired, including prospects Yoiker Fajardo and Blake Ida. Here's Bloom with more on Dobbins.
Not afraid out there, and really a bulldog. So we're excited to get him out there. He fits very well within this group of young starters that we have. How exactly that shakes out, first let's get him back and get him into the swing of things, and then we'll sort it out from there.
This is a Zoom with reporters at 5:30 yesterday evening.
Oh, hi. Thanks for joining us. I'm just kind of curious. I mean, this is the second trade this winter with the Red Sox, and as you guys collect pitching depth, I was just kind of curious when you guys are looking to build that depth at the minor league level, and just pitching depth as a whole. What are some of the traits or qualities you guys are looking for? Is there kind of a common theme there, or is it just something that you guys are kind of looking to collect the best pieces that can fit moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, because while there are some things that you look for and traits that we like and certain guys that we've targeted, you don't want to be so locked into one type of player that you walk past good talent. It comes in a lot of forms. You can turn on any major league game on any given night and see a lot of different kinds of talent. And for that matter, it's not just pitching depth that we're looking to acquire. We obviously need a lot of good players on both sides of the ball to get us where we need to go. It just so happens, in these 2 deals that that's where we were able to align. And certainly, especially at the major league level, starting pitching depth is a big need. And to be able in these 2 trades to get 2 guys that are both capable of starting games at the major league level now and have a chance to do that for us for a long time is really big for where our pitching group is.
Referring there to Richard Fitz, who he acquired from the Red Sox, as well as the latest Hunter Dobbins. Here's more of Heim with reporters.
You mean with Wilson?
Yes.
So, yeah. He was awesome, as you might imagine. We had a good conversation in Chicago at the end of the season. And as you guys know, because I think he told the world as well, he basically said this wasn't something where he was looking to leave. And I think he felt that way up until the deal. This wasn't something that he sought. He did in that conversation say, if in the course of me doing my job, if something comes to us that we thought was in the best interest of the Cardinals, to take it to him, and he'd make a decision from there. And obviously there's a lot of things, I'll let Boston speak to that, but there's a lot of things about that situation that could be appealing to him or to any player. So at the end of the day, he chose to do it, but he was a total pro. We had basically talked about that if something came up that we thought was in the organization's interest, that we would put it to him and give him a chance to decide. And whatever he decided, we were going to be happy. Obviously, if it was a move that we thought was in the interest of the organization, then completing it was something we would want to do, even with all the mixed emotions of moving on from Wilson. And if it's something where he decided to stay after assessing that, we would welcome him back here with open arms. I mean, you talk about a guy who really gave everything to this place for the 3 years that he was here. Someone who to come from a division rival in the midst of that big rivalry. Obviously, there were things about his start here in 23 that were pretty rocky. And then to handle it the way he did, come through it the way he did, everybody here enjoyed having him in the foxhole with us. He cares a lot. He wants to win. He is a worker and a competitor and a great guy. I enjoyed getting to know him and was fortunate to get to know him a little bit over this couple of years, and I'm sure Boston's going to really enjoy him.
That's Chaim Bloom, a former Red Sox executive, making another deal with the Red Sox. That's 3 trades the Cardinals have made with them in the last 6 months. Steven Matz went to the Red Sox, Sonny Gray, and now Wilson Contreras. Not to mention, they signed Dustin May to a free agent contract, and his last team was the Red Sox. And now there's another report that the Red Sox are interested in Brendan Donovan. We could have another deal with Boston, but we shall see. As for Bloom, he did tell KMOX that the desire from an offensive standpoint would be to get a right-handed bat, perhaps someone who could offer them some versatility on their roster. We'll continue to follow this. Of course, the Gas House Gang today at noon, Bernie Miklasz and Chris Ranji will join me, and we'll be joined by Cardinals executive Anouk Karunaratne about the team's television situation. That is today at 12:30. I'm Tom Ackerman on the Voice of the Cardinals, and this time check is 7:28 is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Wilson Contreras was once named the St. Louis Baseball Man of the Year at the Baseball Writers Dinner, which is every year at the Missouri Athletic Club. That's its new home. And January 18th, Sunday night, will be the site of the Baseball Writers Dinner, the Missouri Athletic Club. You can go to stlouisbbwaa.com to get your tickets to that. The MAC hosts just about all of them these days. The Jack Buck Awards have come and gone. It was a great night on December 8th. January 9th will be the Herman Trophy. This is the oldest and most prestigious award in college soccer. The top men's and women's players in America will be in St. Louis for the honor. It is the Heisman Trophy of college soccer, the Herman Trophy. January 9th, Friday night, at the Missouri Athletic Club is where they will celebrate that. There's also, as I mentioned, the Baseball Writers Dinner, the Blues Hall of Fame, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame, the USBWA Awards. They all take place at the Missouri Athletic Club in the Missouri Room downtown. mac-stl.org.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
It is 7:30, and right now we've got partly cloudy skies. It's 42 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brands of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's still no change on eastbound 70, folks, in front of the airport, just past the Natural Bridge exit where we had an earlier crash this morning involving a jackknife semi and multiple vehicles. So with only that right lane open eastbound 70 past Natural Bridge, it's still a solid jam at Cypress on eastbound 70 right now. That's the only eastbound 70 delay. 70 and 64 look great coming in from Wentzville. 64 all the way in through the Interbelt, still both ways, no delays. 270 still no delays from 55 up through Gravois, both ways around Ladue. It looks a little slow southbound at 364 just briefly with that merge on traffic, but otherwise it's fine after that. Northbound 55 at Festus and north of Bayless, okay. Looks like there's a train crossing Route 3 at Monsanto. We have delays back to about Queenie right now, but other than that, interstate-wise, westbound coming into downtown for Illinois drivers is on the move as well. Next update is 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a warm afternoon, a high of 64 today. Tonight, partly cloudy. It'll get a little cooler late, low 43, but tomorrow, Christmas Eve, a high of 67. Thursday, Christmas Day, mostly cloudy, high 63. Warm weekend, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high 70 each day. Turning much colder on Sunday, says Joe, but we'll enjoy the warmth while we can. It's 7:32 and it's 41 degrees downtown at the Arch.
This just into the KMOX newsroom. St. Louis police report that both the mother and child found shot inside a burning home in Walnut Park West early Sunday morning have since died. 45-year-old Latasha Brown passed away after her 9-year-old daughter, Paige Buckner.
Investigators have many questions, among them the timeline of events. St. Louis Police Department spokesperson Mitch McCoy is asking anyone with information to help.
There is no amount of information that is too small in the middle of a homicide investigation. Every piece of information that comes in will be evaluated by our detectives and could potentially help them better understand exactly what happened and what led up to this.
McCoy would not say if they have a suspected shooter.
A fatal crash involving a semi-truck and an electric bicycle forced a temporary closure of eastbound I-70 in Warren County late Monday afternoon. The Missouri Highway Patrol says 63-year-old Warrenton man died. Troopers say he attempted to cross 2 lanes on his bicycle and was struck. The truck's driver, a South Carolina man, was not injured.
Federal prosecutors and the FBI announced 2 arrests in St. Clair County as part of a nationwide effort targeting child sex predators. KMOX's Brad Choate with the story.
During the recently concluded Operation Relentless Justice Detail from December 3rd through the 17th, there were nearly 300 arrests made across the country. Former Marissa police officer 31-year-old Robert Jakowski of Granite City faces a charge of child pornography transportation after his arrest in St. Clair County. The other arrest there involves an Allen, Texas man named Matthew Neville. The 27-year-old Neville is accused of traveling across state lines with the intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct with a minor, enticement of a minor, and sexual exploitation of a minor.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. michaelsflooringoutlet.com will get you your money report from Bloomberg coming up next. It's 7:34.
We're coming up on Christmas very quickly here. Christmas has been and always has been a religious holiday for a lot of people throughout the world. And if not religious, just a celebration for family and friends. It's also the time of year where, while you might be enjoying or you like the holidays, there's people that are suffering, which this time of year is a really, really hard time of year for them. There's people that are suffering this Christmas because this could be their first Christmas without their loved one, husband, wife, mother, father, child, or their second, third, fourth, 10th, 12th Christmas. So for every one of us that believe in God, and we do pray, remember that in your prayers daily, and hopefully that helps and makes a difference and makes it a little bit better in somebody's life that is suffering right now. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. God bless.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-2299. 800-848-2299. Again, that's 800-848-2299.
$7:36. Your Money Minute is sponsored by UC Bank. Let's get the latest from Bloomberg.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Target, Whole Foods, and Walmart will be added as defendants in lawsuits against baby formula maker ByHeart for selling a potentially contaminated product. The CDC has said 51 babies given ByHeart formula over the past 2 years have been hospitalized with infant botulism, though none have died from the potentially fatal infection. ByHeart is cooperating with authorities to determine what caused the contamination. All 3 stores declined to comment. It's looking like a quiet open on Wall Street this morning. Futures are little changed after a 3-day rally for stocks. Later this morning, investors get an update on the state of the economy with data on third quarter gross domestic product. And copper has hit a fresh all-time high above $12,000 a ton. The possibility that President Trump will place tariffs on the metal has been a central factor driving prices higher this year. The rally has lifted copper prices by about 37% for 2025. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Absolutely fantastic car buying weather this week, no doubt about it. And Genesis of St. Charles has your car. Every purchase of a Genesis comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. And oh, these Genesis vehicles are beautiful. Experience luxury service at their state-of-the-art facility with these luxurious vehicles at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That is in St. Peters off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. Or you can get started online, unlock that e-price at genesisofstcharles.com, genesisofstcharles.com. But I do highly suggest you go to that dealership, and the first and only standalone Genesis dealership, number one Genesis dealer in Missouri, will take great care of you. The signature event at Genesis of St. Charles, genesisofstcharles.com.
Christmas has arrived at Chesterfield Valley Nursery with hundreds of Christmas trees and our winter greens. Visit our garden center for your live holiday decor, from garland to poinsettias to custom live wreaths made right here at Chesterfield Valley Nursery. Open to the public, everyone is welcome. Stop by 16825 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, directly past the popular entertainment district. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Christmas Day, after the presents are opened and dinner is done, grab some eggnog, loosen your belt, and settle in for some Chiefs football. The Chiefs take on the Broncos Christmas Day night.
Excitement Cancer Center game time, 6 p.m.
On your home for Chiefs football, 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:40, and we need to check the roadways and the weather. And here's Roger Brandt. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, good news, Debbie. They cleared the crash since we last spoke. Eastbound 70 east of Natural Bridge. This traffic reports a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. There's just a little bit of a delay right around Cypress right now. It's really thinned out pretty quickly just because, well, believe it or not, this is the heart of the rush hour normally, and there just isn't a rush hour. It's a holiday week, so that little delay we have at Cypress will be gone probably in less than 5 minutes. Other than that, the only delay we have is just a slowdown southbound 270 passing 364. It opens up midway, not even midway down to Olive. We had an earlier minor crash there, not blocking anything, but it's just a little heavy. And we still have a train crossing Route 3 at Monsanto. Northbound Route 3 jammed back through Queenie. Southbound is backed up at about 8th Street there. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grill some steaks. I'm going to crack open a beer. Might throw the ball around a little bit. It's like a spring, summer, even fall day. AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg this week for Christmas.
I'll whip up some potato salad. I'll be right over. Oh, it is going to be balmy for the next several days, really the next 5 days until a cold front comes through Saturday night, Tom, and that's going to bring so much colder air to bear for Sunday and for Monday. But today, clouds and sun and temperatures warm to about 64. Some places already approaching 50 at this hour. Partly cloudy skies early tonight. Gets a little cloudier late tonight, though, 43. Even with limited sunshine tomorrow, still going to be balmy for Christmas Eve, 63 to 67. Christmas Day, again, balmy with mostly cloudy skies, the high 63. Mostly sunny, warmer for Friday. That's the pick of the week, I think, going forward. The high near the record of 70 from 1942. Saturday, one more warm day with clouds and some sun and a high of 70. Then it turns much colder for Sunday. Right now, it's 49 at St. Peter's, 44 in Florissant, partly sunny, 48 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. Whether by plane, train, or automobile, millions of Americans are trying to get home for the holidays. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve reports.
On the roads, AAA predicts a record number of nearly 110 million Americans will drive for their year-end trips.
Just bring patience with you, that's like the number one thing.
AAA says the worst time to travel is between 1 and 7 p.m. and recommends leaving before 10 a.m. to beat the holiday rush.
There's been a strike on a vessel in the Eastern Pacific, which the U.S. claims was drug smuggling.
The U.S. military says it has conducted another strike against a boat following intelligence the vessel was engaged in narco-trafficking operations along narco-trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific. U.S. Southern Command posted a video which appears to show a number of strikes landing near and on the boat before it catches fire. Southern Command provided no evidence that the vessel was engaged in drug smuggling. At least 105 people have been killed in 29 known strikes since early September. The Trump administration has said the strikes were meant to stop the flow of drugs into the U.S. and increase pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The attacks have faced scrutiny from U.S. lawmakers and human rights activists who say the administration has offered scant evidence that its targets are indeed drug smugglers and say the fatal strikes amount to extrajudicial killings. I'm Karen Shamas.
While making remarks from Mar-a-Lago about new battleships, President Trump was asked about the Epstein files.
What the Epstein files are all about, according to the president,
is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has.
The latest release of documents included a lot of famous faces.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein.
He also reiterated that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and never visited his private island.
I never went there, by the way. But fortunately, it's nice.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
It's 7:45. This is Bob Fesco, 96.5 The Fan, our sister station in Kansas City, visiting with Chiefs chairman Clark Hunt to discuss the team's move to Kansas, approved and announced yesterday.
Well, we're here with Clark Hunt, who made a major announcement today. The Chiefs are officially moving to the great state of Kansas. How would your dad feel about all this today?
Well, I've actually thought a lot about my dad over the last several weeks and last several months as we worked through this decision. He certainly loved Arrowhead. In fact, he said it was his favorite place on earth. But he was always about the fans and what was best for them. And he was also very forward-thinking, thinking about the future. And I think he would be absolutely thrilled that we're going to build a state-of-the-art stadium that our kids, our grandkids, our grandchildren will be able to enjoy for generations.
Through this whole process, I thought a lot about your dad. I'm one of the few left that knew him in the media now, right? And so I was thinking a lot about how would Lamar think about this? Then I thought about you. You're leaving your childhood home. How difficult was it for you to say goodbye to Arrowhead and build new?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Arrowhead's a special place for many Chiefs fans, including our family, and we all have special memories there. But this decision was really about building a place where our kids and future generations of Chiefs fans can have their own memories.
Yeah.
That is Bob Fesco with Chiefs owner Clark Hunt. Meanwhile, it was a double whammy for Missouri fans. The Tigers took an absolute beating at the hands of Illinois. The Fighting Illini crushed them in the bragging rights game. Final score 91-48. We heard from Dennis Gates last half hour. Let's listen in on Brad Underwood with a proud victory.
Special game, and thank you to McBride Homes for all their continued support in this. And I think 45 years of this rivalry is pretty special. Tonight we made shots. We played good, and I've said it many times, and I don't want it to sound like an excuse. We needed practice, and 9 days. We were not very good in our last game, and just 9 days of getting back to our daily vitamins, our essence of who we are on the defensive end. We held a really good team tonight to under 50 points. I thought that we were handsy. I thought we were in gaps. I thought our most important piece was our communication.
91-48. It's the largest margin of victory in bragging rights history. And Coach Underwood speaking right there about a big factor. 9 days since they lost at home to Nebraska, 83-80. That was a bad recipe for Mizzou. This Illinois team came in very prepared and ready to take them down. And Missouri was unprepared for their size, their length, and certainly their shooting ability. And Missouri had none of it on the other side. The Blues also lost 4-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. That is a loss that puts them 2 games under 500. 49ers beat up the Colts, and in doing so, the Colts not officially eliminated from the playoffs, but they allow the Bills, Jaguars, and Chargers into the AFC playoffs. Final score was 48-27, 5 touchdown passes for Brock Purdy. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
St. Louis Auto Show returns January 22nd through 25th at the America Center. Bring the whole family and explore hundreds of new vehicles from the world's biggest automotive brands. Then get up close and personal with the coolest, most expensive rides ever created at the $1 Million Mile. There's even something for the kids with our Mid-America Chevy dealers sponsored Kids Zone. Get your tickets today at stlautoshow.com. Kids 12 and under get in free. That's stlautoshow.com.
Nominations for the 2026 Women of Achievement are now open. The St. Louis Area Award is the oldest ongoing program in the area whose sole mission is to honor and recognize the volunteer service and volunteer leadership of women. If you know an outstanding volunteer in the St. Louis metropolitan area, or if you are one, Women of Achievement wants to hear from you. Nominations, including self-nominations, may be submitted now through January 11th. Head to KMOX.com for more information.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's get you a check at 7:50 of traffic and weather. And we start with Roger Brand, who's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got trouble now, Debbie, with a crash in the city on eastbound Highway 70. It's just a little bit east of Goodfellow. So as you're coming into the city limits there, you're running into that restriction. And that's causing delays on eastbound 70. It looks like just the left now, maybe the 2 left lanes are blocked, but just the right lane getting through there. Just again, it's close to Berger, just east of Goodfellow. So it's a jam at Lucas Hunt now. So, I thought we were in the clear. We were, for a few minutes, but a new crash there, and that's a problem. Southbound 270, the ramp lanes getting on to 70 are slow at St. Charles Rock Road. North 270 looks great. Northbound 55 looks great. Still have the backups on Route 3. Train crossing at Monsanto. Southbound's jammed through 8th Street. Northbound is backed up between Jerome and Judith. Bumper-to-bumper traffic there.
Judith!
So a couple of big jams. Judith, yes, exactly. Everybody's complaining, but hopefully that train will cross soon. But right now we're dealing with a bit of a jam in both directions there as well. And westbound 64, looks like there may be an incident, a minor crash just west of 170. It's a little slow coming through Hanley. It looks like that one's over to the shoulder, though. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast. AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a nice day today, a high of 64 degrees with some sun. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 43. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, sunny, high 67. Christmas Day, just a touch cooler with some clouds, a high 63. But Friday and Saturday, sunny and near the record of 70 degrees for Friday. The record for Saturday is 72. Currently, we have clouds in downtown St. Louis. It is 43 degrees.
The news continues at 7:52. Could Granite City be the home to a data center in the future? Mayor Mike Parkinson is doing his research as middlemen reach out to the city expressing interest. Parkinson tells KMOX he traveled to Papillion, Nebraska to see how a data center has impacted their economy. He says while he was surprised by how quiet and clean the data center was, he still wants to survey the power and water impact.
Talk about the rates of the water rates and electric rates for the citizens around Papillion, and seeing if they've seen these dramatic increases that people talk about so much.
Parkinson says despite early conversations with these so-called middlemen, no deals are in place. Granite City plans to announce public engagement programs on the topic in early 2026.
Melville Fire Department Assistant Chief Daniel LaFata says a 3-alarm fire caused extensive damage to an apartment wing in Arthur Commons Monday. Bomb and arson is investigating the cause.
At this point, we don't believe it's suspicious, but just with the amount of fire and damage, we appreciate their assistance.
No injuries reported. Firefighters rescued several pets. The Red Cross will be helping any displaced residents.
Brown University placing its police chief on leave more than a week after a deadly mass shooting on campus.
Chief Rodney Chapman is on leave effective immediately as Brown reviews the response to the shooting in which 2 students were killed and 9 were injured. Former Providence Police Chief Hugh Clements will serve as the university's interim chief for public safety. Brown is installing more security cameras. The manhunt for the shooter was hampered by a lack of video. When the spring semester begins next month, physics student Ann Clark will have classes in the building where the shooting took place.
I think that'll be a hard day.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Longtime St. Louis television news anchor Mike Bush is retiring next summer. Bush says the transition from sports to news wasn't something he initially wanted, but history forced his hand. He tells KMOX that after years of turning down the main anchor chair, the events of September 11th changed his perspective on his role in the media.
I had been asked a couple of years before to move into news, and I just really didn't want to. I really was enjoying myself doing sports, and then 9/11 happened. And when you're a sportscaster and 9/11 happens, you feel pretty helpless.
Bush says moving to news allowed him to tell the stories that the community needed to hear, both serious and uplifting. Want to say something about Mike Bush. He is one of the best this city has ever had. He's a true pro. And I actually was inspired by his move from sports to news, and I've sort of followed along. I've really looked up to him as a mentor. I still remember the first time that the Cardinals asked me to do a post-game show on TV, Fox Sports Midwest. And of course, I'm a little anxious to do it. And so I called Mike Bush. Who else am I going to call? And I said, how do you do TV right? I'm a radio guy. And he said, here's the key to television. You look into the camera. If something is going wrong, you look into the camera as if nothing is wrong. I'm like, oh, I like that.
Okay.
That's perfect. I just really appreciate him. He's one of the absolute best, host of the Musial Awards, a big part of our community. And I congratulate him on this life decision and on a tremendous Hall of Fame career. He's part of the St. Louis Media Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was an intern at Channel 5 way back in the day when he was still in the sports department with Art.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I have to say, he was always very nice to the interns. That's kind of how I gauged the on-air staff at KSDK. Were they nice to the interns? And he always was.
He's a good man. 756 on KMOX.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
This is Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. As the year comes to a close, I want to thank our clients, colleagues, and communities for your trust and support. We're especially proud of the Stifel U.S. ski team. Their drive, resilience, and pursuit of their goals this winter reminds us what's possible when we stay committed. From all of us at Stifel, we wish you and your family a joyful holiday season and a new year filled with health, happiness, and success. Stifel, where success meets success.
Roger Brand, what's the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, Tom, the only jam we have right now on the highways is on eastbound Highway 70 jammed Lucas Hunt into Bercher. The two left lanes are shut down now for that crash. We still have heavy traffic, but the trains cleared Route 3 at Monsanto. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Coming up in the next hour on Total Information AM, a downtown turnaround. Is it happening in St. Louis? Developer Alex Oliver pays us a visit at 8:11.
What were the top books checked out this year in local libraries?
A dietitian tells us how to avoid overeating during the holidays.
And best-selling author Kathy Reichs talks about how television dramas differ from real-life science.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today and becoming warmer, the high 64.
I'll be back with the Gas House Gang. Chris Ranji and Bernie Miklas will be with me. Anook Karuna-Rodney from the Cardinals on as well. It's 8 o'clock.
100 years and wishing you the best of the holiday season. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. We begin with a surprisingly good economic news. Growing consumer and government spending propelled the U.S. economy to expand at a strong 4.3% annual rate in the third quarter. Economist Gus Fauché.
This is the strongest growth that we've seen in GDP in a couple of years. We saw a good gain in consumer spending. Exports were up.
The report is 2 months late because of the government shutdown. The Justice Department released tens of thousands more Epstein-related documents, videos, and emails early this morning. CBS's Scott McFarland.
A CBS News team of journalists are still combing through more than 10,000 files just made public a few hours ago. And these latest materials offer some new details on Jeffrey Epstein's associates, including, among other people, President Donald Trump.
Brown University has placed its police chief on leave more than a week after a deadly deadly shooting on campus.
Chief Rodney Chapman is on leave effective immediately as Brown reviews the response to the shooting, in which 2 students were killed and 9 were injured. Former Providence Police Chief Hugh Clements will serve as the university's interim chief for public safety. Brown is installing more security cameras. The manhunt for the shooter was hampered by a lack of video. When the spring semester begins next month, physics student Ann Clark will have classes in the building where the shooting took place.
I think that'll be a hard day.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
These are the times that try travelers' souls, possibly the busiest week for Christmas travel ever, with the complication of severe weather on both coasts. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Jordan Baldry was getting ready to fly to Bozeman, Montana with his dog Scout amid a busy scene at Los Angeles' LAX airport.
They're just looking forward to seeing family and friends is kind of what we think about if it gets frustrating.
Russia fired hundreds of drones and dozens of missiles at targets in Ukraine overnight and this morning. The BBC's Samir Hussein in Kyiv says the attack aimed to cut off the heat for many Ukrainians.
There has been a concerted attack on a lot of infrastructure with regards to energy and power. So you have large swaths of Ukrainians that are without any electricity.
The NFL's Kansas City Chiefs are moving from Missouri to Kansas. The team finalized an agreement to cross state lines after the Kansas legislature approved plans for a new domed stadium. This is Kansas City Chiefs Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt.
The state of Kansas came to us and told us about their big dream. It's a state-of-the-art stadium, a world-class training facility, a new team headquarters, and a vibrant mixed-use development.
The strong growth in GDP in the third quarter has pushed stock futures solidly into the green less than 30 minutes before the opening bell. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
It is 8:03, and right now it's cloudy downtown and 43 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer issuing a statement in response to the deaths of a local mother and daughter found shot inside a burning home over the weekend.
It reads, quote, "My heart is with the families and loved ones of all lost to violence this year, especially today as we grieve the loss of a mother and her young child in their own home as they prepared for the holiday season. SLMPD homicide detectives are currently working around the clock to hold whomever did this fully accountable. If you know anything, even the smallest thing about this incident or any other homicide in our city, please tell police as soon as possible. Please help provide some justice for this beautiful family and all families in our community impacted by heinous violence." Brad Choate, KMOX News.
Police have identified the victims as 45-year-old Latasha Brown and 9-year-old Paige Buckner. St. Louis County Police say a 34-year-old rural Florissant woman died in Sunday's house fire on Parker Road. Charday Spate's husband got out safely. She did not. The St. Louis Regional Bomb and Arson Squad is looking into the matter, which is typical when a death is involved, but police have said the fire does not appear to have been suspicious in nature. Could a data center be built on the Illinois side of the river?
Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson is doing his research on data centers while telling KMOX quote-unquote middlemen on their behalf have reached out. Parkinson said his tour of the data center in Papillion, Nebraska debunked some myths for him.
Everything that we heard about noise was just completely erroneous. There was no noise whatsoever. Everything was indoors, and it was quite surprising actually. The campus is very clean.
Parkinson emphasized there is no deal in place, but shares a preliminary projection of the kind of impact a data center could have on Granite City's economy.
In a given year, the city of Granite City on one 300-acre site, you could be looking at maybe $30 million in tax revenue.
Parkinson says public engagement programs could be announced in the first 2 months of 2026. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Missouri is losing its last NFL team. The Chiefs are relocating to Kansas in 2031. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly made the news official.
Kansas is not a flyover state. We are a touchdown state.
The team will build a new dome stadium and also relocate its team offices to Kansas. The Chiefs' departure from Missouri comes a few days after insurance giant Lockton decided to pick up and move its world headquarters with almost 2,000 employees out of Kansas City, Missouri, and to the Kansas side of the line.
I'm Michael Calhoun. What's the reaction from the losing state?
I haven't seen the details about it yet, but the way I understand it, there's some things that Kansas will have to work through with the Chiefs organization. I'm going to work with the Chiefs organization till the moving truck's back up to Arrowhead.
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe, Republican, talks about the loss with our partners at Fox 2.
It has to be a good deal for Missourians. I think the deal that Kansas is putting in front of them is not a good deal for Kansas residents. It certainly would not have been a good deal for Missouri residents. And I think if you look at our package, it still stands what we said. It's a good deal for Missourians, and it was a great deal and is a great deal for the teams.
And Kansas City's mayor says they'll work to retain the Royals in a, quote, transformational downtown facility.
As the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign winds down for 2025, the local campaign chair is asking for volunteers to consider spending one last hour of time ringing a bell. KMOX's Amy Markscore says the region had a tough year.
With the Salvation Army of Greater St. Louis, all the money raised stays local. They also have super low overhead, so 90% of every dollar is used to serve our neighbors.
The Illinois Secretary of State's office received some questionable license plate recommendations this year.
Appreciate the creativity of Illinoisans who want customized license plates, but they must meet certain standards of good taste and decency.
Of the 55,000 vanity and personalized plate requests submitted, Secretary of State Alexi Janulius says more than 550 had to be denied. Some were hard to read, like OOQQOO. Others were inappropriate enough we can't read them on the air. Still, Janulius says,
as always, go ahead and get creative, but please keep it clean.
That's WBBM's Haley Hansen reporting from the business desk sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. It's been a rough year for area restaurants, even for James Beard-nominated chefs. Ben Welch, who was a James Beard semifinalist in the Best Chef Midwest category, is closing both of his restaurants in the Grove, Lucy Q and Little Lucy, after service on New Year's Eve. Both opened up this spring. In an Instagram post, Welch said the closures were due to multiple determining factors that made it impossible to keep the businesses operating. We're going to check in with a major downtown developer who is really bullish, especially on Washington Avenue. More details from Alex Oliver coming up after we check traffic and weather. It's 8:08.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Listen up, Missouri. If you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is rolling in the Show Me State, and they are kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether you're betting football or basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you can do it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Download the FanDuel app today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement because it has been a lot of fun since it's been live and rolling in the state of Missouri. It is time to play your game with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 8:10. Let's check in with Roger Brand. He is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, 70's been the only troubled highway this morning, Debbie. I mean, well, first of all, it was overnight road work that caused delays out in the Wentzville area. Then we had that crash for quite a while, eastbound 70 at the airport. Now the latest problem, the only one we have currently, is the crash eastbound 70 just before Bircher. The two left lanes are blocked now. And again, it's a solid jam from Lucas Hunt through Bircher. So it opens up just before you get to Union on eastbound 70. And that's the only interstate issue or delay for that matter. Everything else is wide open and everything's back to normal on Route 3. We had a train crossing earlier at Monsanto, but that's cleared and everything looks great for you there as well. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today and becoming warmer, high 64. Partly cloudy early tonight, then turning cloudy late tonight, low 43. For tomorrow, Christmas Eve, mostly cloudy but mild, high 63 to 67. Thursday, Christmas Day will remain mostly cloudy and mild, high 63. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, it is cloudy downtown. We've got 43 degrees. It's now 8:12. You're listening to Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey. And for the last few years, our next guest has been making news with his confidence in downtown St. Louis, specifically Washington Avenue. We welcome back to the program Alex Oliver of Oliver Properties.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How much would you say you have invested so far in downtown?
Between 10th and 18th Street along Washington Avenue has been our focus. We have about 120, 130 million of total investment between acquisitions, renovations, construction, between various buildings.
And now you've worked all around the city, but you've decided over the last few years to really focus on what you say is downtown's Main Street.
Yes. So yeah, we've invested, started off in South City, moved to sort of Midtown, Central West End area. So I have a lot of experience all throughout the city and all throughout the region. And really saw an incredible opportunity of, what, as you and I were discussing a minute ago, some of the distress that came out of COVID, of the, office buildings hollowing out, restaurants being forced to close, really created an interesting opportunity of the built environment was great along Washington Avenue. Historic buildings, they'd already been renovated within the last 20 years. So we're dealing with relatively modern systems and infrastructure, but they've just been kind of gone by the wayside. People weren't reinvesting in them for almost 20 years, and certainly not for the last 5. And we really saw an opportunity to assemble disjointed ownerships. So there was different people that each owned these properties. It was hard for them to get the economy of scale to really pivot the market. We've really intentionally focused on retail activation, making the neighborhood a place people want to live. But our primary driver is residential. So we're about 90% of our square footage is residential apartments, and then 10% commercial space on the ground floor.
And how many people would you say have moved downtown or into your buildings over the last few years?
So we did this analysis just at our properties that we've now owned for over 18 months, which is really kind of the first bundle of properties we got. We have about 600 apartments right there. We have about 322 new residents have moved in over an 18-month window since we started leasing. That averages one new person moving in every other day for 18 months straight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that would sort of outpace most apartment lease ups throughout the region. And I think that reflects that when there is the demand here, when you build the environment, that people want to live in, there's incredible demand here. People do want to actually live in these, incredible walkable neighborhoods, which is what Wash Ave is.
One of the things that you've also been doing, other than just residential, is bringing in new businesses and
Yes.
maybe even starting some of your own. You had made some news with a food hall
Yes.
plan that you have. Talk about that and some of the other businesses that have opened.
Yeah, so the food hall is the largest commercial square footage we have in a single space. So it's almost 12,000 square feet. So it's a very large space. We knew that was going to be a challenge for a single restaurateur to take on. That's just a lot of square footage that would require them, to turn out a lot of food. And so we were looking at other models around the country of kind of best practices, what could be a way to create a sort of retail anchor that would really drive people to come here and diversify sort of the risk between multiple, restaurateurs. And so the food hall model was the route we really went with. We went out and found a consultant and architect that specialize in food halls. They've each done over 100 of these across the country. We went out and found an operator that's done, almost a dozen of these throughout the country as well to partner up with. So we're really excited. So it'll have 6 separate food vendors. It'll have 2 bars. It's got a rear patio space. It's actually one of the few areas in downtown on Wash Ave that has a rear patio with a retractable roof. So it's going to be year-round available to use the patio space. We're really excited about it. So I think that'll really be an anchor tenant that drives people to come down here all the time, whether going to a ballpark or, city museum or down here for a convention or an office worker or our residents or just live in the region. It'll be a great anchor.
Where do you stand right now in trying to convince people that to bank on downtown? Because I've been a city resident for 22
Sure.
years, and I am always a cheerleader for the city, but I've almost given up because I've given up on trying to convince the people who won't be convinced. There are people listening who are like, I'm not coming downtown. Right. You can't tell me anything to change my mind. So as a person who opens businesses and has all these residential buildings, who do you focus on? Who do you want to get your message to?
Yeah, so it's a variety of people. So one is residents. You know, like I said, the majority of our real estate investments downtown are residential. And one that kind of surprises people, that people think no one's down here. Well, there's 10,000 residents who live in downtown today. So we're really trying to attract people that, yes, this is a great walkable neighborhood along Wash Ave. The other is people to come down here and shop and go to restaurants and go to bars along Washington Avenue. So whether you live in the region, haven't been down here for a while, just between 10th and Tucker, like in a 1 block radius, there's like 9 different restaurants and bars. 2 of them have recently opened. There's been a couple that have renewed. So that's showing confidence in they want to stay in that neighborhood. So we're just trying to let people know this is a very walkable neighborhood. Just like Central West End has Euclid, South Grand, Del Mar Loop are these like walkable retail food and beverage stretches. Wash Ave is that exact same thing, and it's continuing to grow.
I think for people who live in the city, we see the city as a bunch of different neighborhoods. People who live out in the county think everything's downtown, right. But we have great neighborhoods. But even in downtown, it's you have Washington Avenue, right. But then maybe a block over, things are not quite the same. So how do you differentiate between the different areas of downtown? Yeah, downtown and downtown west are a lot of times lumped together from the big picture of saying, oh, that's all downtown. Well, that's 2 square miles. I think the entire Central West End is only like 1.25 square miles. So, I mean, this is in a giant neighborhood. So we really try to differentiate that Washington Avenue is that historic retail walkable corridor. You've got downtown west, which is more closer to the soccer stadium, Union Station. There's great anchors down there, but it's a little less residential. There's not nearly as much retail activation, so it's a little bit of a quieter neighborhood. Then you have the higher density right around like 7th and Pine or 6th and Olive, where you have those large, office towers. That's really kind of the central business district. So each of these pockets have a totally different feel. High density, urban city living, kind of mid-rise really is kind of our stretch. 6 to 8 story buildings for the most part. With a really walkable area, and then a much lower density as you go west of like 18th Street, where there are groups looking at doing new construction because there's a lot of open space to build. How are you looking towards 2026? The economy's been interesting for 2025. A lot of businesses just around in general have either closed or people have put a pause on projects. What are you seeing for 2026?
So I'm very micro focused, obviously. We've been really focusing for the last 24, 25 months just along Wash Ave. So we really are focusing heavily in that district. Right now, what I kind of like about our investment thesis is these are very affordable apartments that we are renovating. So these are not, new construction, $3 square foot, 1 Cardinal Way or, a new tower in the Central West End type pricing. So this is a very approachable pricing. So, we have a lot of engineers, nurses, young professionals who this is kind of a starting apartment for them. So I think that allows us to be a little more downside cushioned if there's a little bumpiness in the market. And for our retailers, we really try to incentivize them. Like we really do try to make sure that they are there as the amenities for all of our apartments. So we're not trying to be really aggressive on rental rates and pricing that could make it risky for them in the next 24 months as we continue to see this neighborhood grow.
He is Alex Oliver. It's Oliver Properties. And for people who heard us talking about the food hall, what's the projected opening? So we are targeting second quarter of this coming spring. So construction's underway. We've got the operator lined up. We've already got a couple soft commitments from some of our food vendors. So we're really excited about that. So targeting kind of May to get probably a soft open and then hopefully the full open coming on live, June, July. So it'll be perfect time for summer to use that rear patio and check it out, when you're down here for a Cardinals game. All right. Sounds good. Alex, thanks so much for stopping by and have a great holiday.
Thanks for having me.
We are going to check on the top reads of 2025, according to St. Louis County and St. Louis Public Library. So stay with us here. It's 8:20. And we're going to do another check here of the roadways with Roger Brand. Here he is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, since our last report, they cleared the crash eastbound 70 at Bircher before you get to Union, so lanes are open. There's still a backup, though, from Lucas Hunt into about Jennings Station on eastbound 70, so the jam is unwinding, but if you're headed that way, there's still going to be some issues, obviously, until the volume completely thins out. So eastbound 70 is still a backup of the original problem at Berkshire is gone. Other than that, the rest of these highways continue to move along nicely. I don't see any other issues. Even in the construction zones, things aren't slowing down one bit, so it's great to see. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Looking at that forecast, it's not going to be quite as warm on Christmas Day as we had initially thought, but the warm up is going to hold off, at least when we're talking 70s, until Friday and Saturday. But today, 64 with sunshine, 67 for Christmas Eve, 63 with clouds on Christmas Day, and then Friday mostly sunny. Will be around 70 for Friday and Saturday, but then it turns colder for Sunday. So enjoy it while you can. It's 44 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
This holiday season, when you get them Steel, batteries are included. Buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for gift ideas and seasonal savings. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
It's that time of year when we take a look at top 10 lists, top 5 lists of the year. And I was very interested to know what people were reading this year. So we turned to Kristen Sorth with St. Louis County Library. And what were the top checked out books this year, Kristen?
So we had a number of really interesting titles and genres for most checked out print titles. So number one was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. The second was The Wedding People. Third was Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Fourth was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And fifth was Nobody's Fool by Harlan Coben.
Does it change if we're looking at the books people might have downloaded, the ebooks?
The order is different, and then there's a couple of different titles on here. So the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins was the number one downloaded ebook audiobook this year, and then Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry was second, and then The Wedding People, and then two ones that weren't on the print were Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's the number one audio book, and then we've got Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. So there's some overlap, but there's some differences too.
All right. Well, that just added a bunch of books that I need to add to my list, as if my to-read list isn't long enough already.
I think this is really funny. The top Canopy movie, you can check out, you can download movies. It's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Really? That is interesting.
I know. I don't know. I'm just very curious. I mean, I love that movie, but it's certainly not a new movie.
It's been in the news this year. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, top album was Life of a Showgirl by Taylor.
Of course. Well, Kristen Soar, thank you for the update on what people were reading and listening to in 2025.
All right, thanks.
Let's take a look at St. Louis Public Library. Lauren Brickey is manager of collection development.
The top 5 physical books, Kristen Hanna's The Women. We had 328 checkouts of her book, and then Rebecca Yaros, Iron Flame, 315 checkouts. The next titles that are the most popular are in our children's section. They're children's graphic novels. If you're familiar with Dave Pilkey, who wrote the Dogman series, as well as Captain Underpants. Dogman is really big right now with the kids. So we have Dogman Book 10, Mothering Heights, at 293 checkouts. And we have Dogman Book 13, which is called Big Jim Begins, at 279 checkouts. Our 5th top title is Sally Rooney's Intermezzo at 270 checkouts.
Is there a big difference between the physical books and electronic downloads?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life that had 711 checkouts. The next is Suzanne Collins' Sunrise on the Reaping. The 3rd book, we have Rebecca Yaros, her 3rd book actually, Onyx Storm, at 631 checkouts. The 4th, which is one of my favorites for 2025, was Taylor Jenkins Reid, Atmosphere. The 5th, which is very popular in nonfiction as well as on social media, Mel Robbins, The Let Them Theory, at 540 checkouts.
Well, now you know what your fellow St. Louisans have been reading, so you can make your to-be-read lists for 2026. Lauren Brickey is the manager of collection development for St. Louis Public Library. Thanks for the list.
Oh, no problem. Happy reading.
It is now 8:28, and the Time Check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. Have you been having an issue getting your packages delivered in time for the holidays? You're tracking them, and they seem to go nowhere? Well, Maria Kina got on the case, and she's got an interesting phone call ahead on Total Information AM.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman, and I have a great idea for something you can do with all this warm weather we're having this week. Test drive a Genesis at Genesis of St. Charles. What a great place to do it. 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway, right off I-70. Off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. You'll enjoy a Genesis. I saw one right in front of me on the highway the other day, and it looked amazing. Saw another one yesterday and thought I could make my way out to Genesis of St. Charles just to have a good time with Shay, the general manager, and all the people there. It is their signature event. They want your trade. They're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase, and every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Unlock that e-price at genesisofstcharles.com. You'll be very happy with the people and the cars, of course, at Genesis of St. Charles. genesisofstcharles.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Let's get you another check at 8:30 of the traffic if you're just heading out the door. Roger Brand has the latest from the roadways in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they look great, Debbie. They have all morning except for the problems we had on 70. We had road work out in Wentzville. We had the crash at the airport, and then we had one in the city. They've all been cleared, and even the delays we had 10 minutes ago on eastbound 70 between Lucas Hunt and Jennings Station have now thinned out. They're reporting a stall southbound 55 near Butler Hill, right lane. I'm not seeing any delays there. light traffic all the way around, even in the construction zones. Things are looking good. We do have one injury crash on the Illinois side, 143 at Wanda Road, and they requested EMS for that just a couple minutes ago. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life. Rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, and motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peters. chucksboots.com.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, sunshine and some clouds today with a high of 64. Christmas Eve tomorrow, 67 degrees. Christmas Day, a little cooler, mostly cloudy, 63. We're saving the 70-degree temps now for Friday and Saturday before things get cooler by Sunday. It's 44 degrees out there right now. It is 8:32 with Christmas just a couple days away. KMOX's Maria Kina reports that residents in many parts of the Metro East are still waiting for FedEx to deliver their holiday packages.
And this is not an isolated incident. Dozens of people are reporting the same problems in the Metro East. Packages marked out for delivery for several days. FedEx trucks driving on the streets, pulling up to houses, but never delivering anything. And packages being sent back to Sauget and Cahokia Heights hubs. One of the many people is Jeff, waiting for a drum kit for his son.
It was supposed to be here on the 17th, but it had made its way to the Sauget location, I believe, almost 10 days ago, if not more. So I thought for sure it would be here early. Unfortunately, it's been in and out of status updates. So one day it says it's on the truck and it even tells me who the driver is. The next day it says that the label on it is unreadable or unscannable. So they have to make a new one. And then it says it's delayed. They don't know when it'll come out. And then it'll say that it's back on the truck for delivery.
KMOX contacted FedEx, and that's when it got really complicated. There were several recordings, transfers, disconnections. Then,
you're calling about freight, right?
No, speak with a representative.
Sorry, if you're calling about freight, say yes or press 1. If not, say no or press 2.
No.
My mistake. Once again, please tell me in your own words what I can help you with today.
Speak with a representative.
First, I need the reason for your call to find the help you need. So please tell us what you're calling about today.
Complaint.
Okay, customer feedback. If your request involves an international shipment, press 1 now. Otherwise, please stay on the line. It looks like we weren't able to catch the reason for your call.
I finally spoke with a human, identifying myself as a reporter on the record.
How can I assist you?
Hi, I am a reporter in St. Louis, Missouri, calling on behalf of several people who are not receiving their shipments in the Metro East of Illinois. I have one of those names and a tracking number in particular, and I want to find out what the issue is. After giving the representative the tracking number,
Maria, since this package is committed to be delivered on 20th, this package is considered as lost in transit.
Well, what are all these texts and what are all these alerts that he's been receiving that the package is en route? There's even been a FedEx truck that's driven up in front of the house and then opens the back, closes the back, and then drives off. I mean, they keep on saying that this is a drum kit, that it's supposedly out for delivery. Why do they keep on sending those messages if that's not true?
For that one, actually, Maria, we have a problem with our system it is auto generated, so that's why it keeps marked as out for delivery.
You say there's a flaw in your system. Isn't it a little bit disingenuous that you charge people and you keep on telling them that it's in transit, it'll be here tomorrow, it'll be here the day after, and yet you never send them any kind of alerts that we have a problem. This is lost in transit. Why isn't that message sent?
Yeah, because due to high volume of packages and lack of manpower.
It's not clear why, if FedEx has a problem with their system, why they continue to send out alerts knowing they're incorrect. But keep in mind, the representative told me the drum kit was lost. But then Monday afternoon, the drum kit arrived. Jeff's son will have his drums for Christmas. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
It's a Christmas miracle. Maria Kina getting after it. I think that's so interesting. I actually ordered an electric blanket on December 4th, and it just got to my house yesterday, and it really looks like it's been through it. I don't know what it's been through, but It's been a long time in Kansas, so I don't know. A lot of people apparently experiencing delivery difficulties this holiday season. It is 8:35, and one of the other difficulties that we face in the holiday season is all the food everywhere. A lot of us are trying to watch our waistlines, but if you have an eating disorder, it is even more difficult to deal with the food everywhere and the people pushing it on you. We're going to talk more about that coming up next here on KMOX. Let's talk for just a moment here about St. Louis Public Library. We did hear from Lauren Brickey of St. Louis Public Library about some of the most checked out items. And I'll tell you, if you are finding it a little bit of a cash crunch this time of year because of the holidays, St. Louis Public Library can save you so much money because you don't need an expensive subscription to download audiobooks. St. Louis Public Library has them for free. You just use 2 different apps. You get your audiobooks for free, ebooks, all the things. You can download so much from the comfort of your own home. You can read newspapers, newspaper subscriptions and magazine subscriptions. Don't worry about it. Go to St. Louis Public Library or read them online. Job searches and so much more, all free of charge with your St. Louis Public Library card, plus 3D printing, sewing machines, embroidery. I mean, the list is endless. Just go to slpl.org to find out more about all of the things you can discover at St. Louis Public Library. St. Louis's original search engine is St. Louis Public Library.
You know how we all of our kids make lists and everything and visit with Santa, and I happen to be really good friends with Santa. It's like we're the same people. So every once in a while, you know, when he's got some free time, which he did, we're cool. So he always makes it a point to stop in and have an adult beverage with me. I was talking to him about, do you ever have requests for a homeowner wanting a furnace or an air conditioner? He said he does. And I said, so what do you deliver on that? Because I'm your best bud and you never let me know. So I've never delivered anything or put anything together. But he said he was going to leave my number and my card. If you don't find it, here's what's on my card. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Merry Christmas and God bless.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
It is now 8:39. We need to get you updated on your money report, which is sponsored by Amen, Gantner, and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Novo Nordisk has been approved to sell a pill version of its blockbuster obesity drug Wegovy in the U.S. The drug giant will begin selling the pill in early January. A trial found that people taking a 25 milligram pill lost close to 14% of their body weight in a little over a year. Novo has been struggling to compete recently in the obesity market it did so much to create. Wegovy has lost ground to Eli Lilly's Zepbound. Checking in on trading, stock futures are little changed this holiday shortened trading week. This is the last full trading session before Christmas. The markets close early tomorrow ahead of the holiday. And Johnson & Johnson was ordered to pay about $1.56 billion to a Maryland woman who blamed the company's talc-based baby powder for causing her asbestos-linked cancer. J&J maintains that talc doesn't cause cancer, and there's never been any asbestos in the product. J&J says it will appeal. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's easy to feel apprehensive about getting screened for cancer or to just keep putting it off. But Siteman Cancer Center wants to remind you how important it is, especially after the age of 40. And they also want you to know how easy it is to get it done. GetScreenedNow.com has all the information you need on cancers like prostate, breast, colon, lung cancer. You can also find out your risk of disease by answering just a few simple questions. And then you can find one of the hundreds of screening locations in the area. Even if you're a little farther out, there is probably a place near you. You have heard this before, but catching cancer early dramatically increases the odds of a successful treatment, especially with so many cancers showing up earlier in life. So do not be intimidated. Siteman will make the process as simple as possible. GetScreenedNow.com. Do it for your family and friends who count on you. Do it for yourself. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
All right, we need to check the roadways and hopefully nothing in your way or delaying you from where you need to go. But Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, certainly not on the interstates, Debbie. Everything's in great shape there. All the highways are back on the move. Well, most of them have been on the move all morning, but the last delay we had was eastbound 70 between Lucas Hunt and Jennings Station. It thinned out, I think, before our last report, so no worries there. Even in the work zones, traffic's light enough. You're on the go all the way around the metro area. We do have that one injury crash reported 143 at Wanda Road. You may find brief delays and restrictions at that location. I'm Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From our family at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation to yours. Happy holidays.
You want to hurry this up, Mark? I'm freezing my baguettes off.
Relax, Grandpa. Air Comfort Service is on their way. Aubrey, you're not doing anything. You want to let me know when they get here?
Honey, her eyes are frozen shut. Plus,
avoid a 5-alarm emergency with an HVAC system check from Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Learn more at aircomfortservice.com.
It's now 8:42. The holidays mean food is everywhere. Some of us just eat with abandon. Others are trying to watch what they eat. For those with eating disorders, it can be extremely challenging. Michelle Wilson is joining us, and she is a registered dietitian with Brand's Nutritional Counseling. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Or would you agree this is a challenging time of the year for everyone?
Absolutely. I think that there's a lot of factors when it comes to having things for the holidays and thoughts around food, because it's a food focused holidays time frame. So there's definitely a lot of things to think about and be aware of.
I wonder if you have a good way to handle, because I recently posted that if you go to a holiday party and somebody's not drinking alcohol, you do not need to ask why. You know, because people are like, why? Why aren't you drinking? Have a drink. Just have a drink. Don't badger people if they're not having a drink. It's fine. But people do that with food at the holidays too. And I know some people get offended if you don't want to eat their food. So, you know, whether you have an eating disorder or you're, you know, whatever the issue, it's like when you're at a place and they're like, no, eat, come on, eat. So what's a good way to get out of that without telling them all of your stuff?
Yeah. And it's totally okay to let people know that, like, maybe you've already eaten and that you're full, or that maybe the food that they're offering isn't your taste preference. I think so many times people worry about being rude. It's okay to decline food. You can offer to try it later if you would prefer to have it later, or even just letting them know that that's not your taste preference, and go from there.
Yes, and hope they get the message.
Yeah.
I suppose this time of year, if you're trying to avoid the giant food table, planning is essential.
Yeah. So if you're feeling like you have difficulty whenever you're around a surplus of food, it can be helpful to make sure that you have regular eating throughout the day, to where you're not overly hungry whenever you're in front of a lot of food. And if you do plan on eating whenever you're at that big spread, it can also be helpful to make sure that you have sample sizes of all of those foods. Normally, whenever we portion those foods, let's say, for instance, we have mashed potatoes at dinner. We normally maybe are used to plopping on a certain amount because it's maybe like a third of your plate or something, right? But at Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of these holiday spreads, we might have way more options. So we don't really think about those portion sizes being a little smaller, so we can fit more options on our plate.
All right. I think a lot of people do this when they've been really good, and then they sort of blow it, and then they beat themselves up, and then they think, well, what's the point now? Now I'm just going to continue to graze my way through the holidays.
Yeah. So whenever people have identified as being really, air quotes, good, it might mean that they've been overly restrictive, or they haven't been allowing themselves to have their cravings. I think that whenever people are trying to be more mindful of what they're eating, they might accidentally be a little too strict and have this like restrict binge cycle that accidentally happens. So then we see this big pendulation between I'm not going to allow myself to have any of these things. And then your body naturally craves something like carbs, for instance. And then you swing into having a whole bunch of carbs. There's definitely a way to balance that out.
And what about, I think a lot of us, we think, well, it's fine. I'll just eat now. And then in January, I'll make that New Year's resolution that sort of falls by the wayside. But what's the danger in just like putting it off until January 1st?
So that might cause what's called a Last Supper mentality, meaning that you feel like I'm not going to be allowed to have this in the future. So I'm going to have as much of it as possible now. So having where you ban certain foods or get really strict in the future might cause you to have a whole bunch in the meantime.
Is it if you know that you are maybe an emotional eater or you've got an issue with food, other than avoiding parties altogether, what's a better option?
So being able to be aware of what is your trigger for eating, if you eat in abundance and you like stress eat, for instance, then identifying the actual stress would be the concern. If you find that you eat a lot more whenever you haven't eaten a lot through the day, then maybe you're having more of hunger binges. So there's a lot of different reasons why binges might happen or overeating might happen. So addressing the underlying cause. Are you doing it for entertainment? Are you doing it to de-stress? Are you doing it for pleasure? There's a lot of different reasons. And to meet those needs outside of food can help you not rely on food to meet those needs.
All right. There's going to be a lot of food out there. So those are some excellent suggestions. And we appreciate the information. Michelle Wilson is a registered dietitian with Brands Nutritional Counseling. Have a happy holiday.
You too. Thanks.
We're going to check in with best-selling author Kathy Reichs. That's Dr. Kathy Reichs coming up after the break. Stay with us on Total Information AM.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, FanDuel Sportsbook is live here in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that is really tough to beat. So right now, new customers can bet $5 and then get $300 in bonus bets. Whether you win or lose that initial $5 bet, you get those $300 bonus bets either direction. And it doesn't matter what you're choosing, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, you can bet it all on an app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use. I've been on it since the app launched years ago. I just couldn't play in Missouri until now. Now I get to, and you can do. So download FanDuel today or head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to join in on the excitement, because Missouri, it's time to play your game with FanDuel. Remember, 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
How many of you think taxes will go up in the future? And if they do, who will get hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA for years, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Thursday, January 22nd or Tuesday, the 27th. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may offer tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with their qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Winter Wonderland, presented by St. Louis County Parks and Recreation at Tillis Park, is now open through January 3rd. Enjoy more than 1 million dazzling lights with holiday characters and festive scenes. Whether you're carrying on a family tradition or starting a new one, you'll never see anything like Winter Wonderland at Tillis Park. Happy holidays from Kirkwood Fence, Tully Tire, Washington University Orthopedics, Restoration One, and Happy Roof. More info at KMOX.com.
It is 8:50 and Total Information AM continues. Kathy Reichs has had several careers. Most people know her as the New York Times bestselling author and crime writer, creator of the Temperance Brennan series that launched the hit Fox show Bones. But Dr. Reichs is also one of the very few forensic anthropologists in the world. How rare of a job is that?
I've lost track, but when I was certified, when I received my board certification, I was number 36 in the whole world, I guess, but at least certified by the American Board of Forensic Anthropology. So we were a very small group. We all knew each other. We pretty much know each other still, but it's a bit bigger now. I think there are over 100 certified right now, I think.
That's still a pretty small number.
It's not like we're dentists or,
So being that there are so few forensic anthropologists, how did you find out that this was even a thing?
I found out this was a thing because cops brought me a case. They knew I was at the university here I'm talking to you from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I taught at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte campus for longer than I'm going to admit to. And they knew I was a physical anthropologist out there. So their bones turned up. They found bones and they said, well, let's take them out to that bones lady out at the university. And that's how it's the same. I wrote an origin story for Tempe. I think it appeared in the Bone Collection, which is a collection of novellas. I'm not very good at short, so my short stories always end up a bit long. Anyway, that's how she starts out. They show up at her lab. She's planning to do a career in bioarchaeology. And then she gets diverted into the working with the police and into the forensic end of it.
Let's talk about how you went from doing this job in a lab and being a professor, and then this whole second career. I mean, it really was a whole second career of writing all of these books. What made you think you could do that?
It was kind of a third career because first I was an academic. But as an academic, then I started consulting in the forensic world. And then I think it was 1994, I thought, people kept saying, you should write a book. What you do is interesting. In 1994, a few things came together. I made full professor, I think. That was the year. So I was free to, do whatever I wanted to do after that. And I had just worked on a serial murder case, which had some very interesting elements to it. So that all came together and I thought, well, why not? I'll give it and I had a colleague who had just published a book of fiction, an anthropologist. She was a cultural anthropologist. She had just published a book and she had made a nice little sum of money. And I had 3 kids all talking about going to private universities. And I don't know if you know this, but university faculty are not overly well paid. So I thought, well, okay, maybe I could do this and earn a little money on the side in addition to my faculty salary. So that's when that all came together.
And not only did it come together, but your first book wins the Ellis Award for Best First Novel and becomes an international bestseller. So there's that.
There was that. That was encouraging. And that was a surprise for sure.
So when you're putting this character of Temperance Brennan together, for people who may be wondering, how close is she to you? Or when you were writing her, were you thinking that this is going to be me, but with superpowers? Or what was your thought process?
They say write about what you know about. So it just seemed easier to write about what I do, a forensic anthropologist, and why not use myself as the model for that? So I gave her own personality, though, her own quirks. I didn't want the character to be perfect, like myself, of course. I couldn't. So I wanted her to have some flaws that she deals with. She's recovering alcoholic, et cetera, et cetera. That never plays a big role, but I threw that in as part of her character. So yeah, I drew on myself, but I also shamelessly drew on all the people around me, and not necessarily for the main character, but from some of the other characters. And when the book came out, I was a little nervous, especially at the lab in Montreal, because I was working on 2 ends in North Carolina and in doing all the work for Quebec. And I drew on the people at the lab because the first book is set in Montreal. so I was a little bit nervous that I had a year, a gap year kind of, because it took a year until it came out in French after it came out in English. But when it came out in French, because everybody spoke French there, nobody spoke English at the lab. I was a little nervous, but the only people that were annoyed were the people that I hadn't put in the book, and people would stop by and say, so do you have any questions about DNA or, fire and arson? Or so they really took it very well.
How many books in were you when you were approached to maybe turn Temperance Brennan into what became I think it's still the longest running drama on Fox, Bones?
I don't know. I was 6 books in maybe at that point.
On the very first episode too, she's getting teased constantly about her book, and then everyone in her lab is trying to figure out which character is them in the book. So yes, being that you were producer or executive producer on the show, should we trust that some of the science is fairly accurate? I imagine some of it has to change.
Yes, all the terminology is real. All the technology that you see was real stuff that we got from biological supply houses or medical, warehouses, whatever. One of the things that was not realistic is that every single episode, the case got solved and the body got ID'd and the bad guy or girl got caught. That is not realistic.
Dr. Kathy Reich's latest book is the 24th in the Temperance Brennan series, Evil Bones. It's 8:57.
Well, we know this all too well, don't we? Another NFL team is leaving Missouri. This time it's the Chiefs, but they're not going too far, just across the border to Kansas. We'll talk about that. We'll have Major Garrett on the show today. Also, we will be taking your grievances towards us or whoever. That's all coming up next on the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on